Welcome back, everybody, to our podcast that we're going to soon rename because of reasons. But
reasons related to porn results.
No, not
That's
that.
exactly
We're
why.
just looking for a new name, new brand. But
We're changing our name from Certified Amateurs to something that yields better search results.
something that yields better search results. I like that name.
We would host a vote if anybody watched this.
Yeah,
But since they don't.
All right, we're gonna stop saying that. People watch it. Eventually, they will. Back in the future, they're gonna watch it and be like, "Oh, that's where they started." That's when the legend starts, as they say. Okay.
Legend.
Today, we're gonna do the top 20 music or albums of the decade, 2010, 2019, right?
Yes, the 2010s.
Mm-hmm. That's what I like to hear.
Okay, motherfucker, you had one on your list. You had two on your list that started 2009 last time. And it's different because they were shows. They ran for like a certain amount of time. The only reason I had Inglourious Basterds is because I didn't know the date it came out. Because I added it right at the end. That was the
homework.
only thing.
This is the week in between. Do your homework.
No, I'm not at college. I don't do homework anymore.
You're right.
This is actually the one I'm most excited for.
Me too.
Because two reasons. So one, I'm most excited for this one because I think we're gonna have the most different list.
Yeah.
Out of all the things, probably we had a lot of things in common on the other two.
Yeah.
Because we have similar tastes, and we have not similar tastes in music, I'd say, but we have some commonalities. But for the most part, it's gonna be different.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
That is why. That's one reason I think it's my favorite of this series, and the second reason is because I had so fucking many that it was really hard to narrow down this list to 20.
It wasn't that hard for me to narrow it down. It was just hard for me to arrange it because I knew what was going to be the top, but I know what what overshadows the others.
Yeah,
but I started like in 2015, 16. I started keeping track of every album I listened to. There was a lot of great music this decade. I mean, it's easier to consume than like movies and TV shows. So
yeah,
there's a lot of crap, but a lot of great stuff too. So let's get to it.
All right. So my honorable mentions. I'm just gonna dive right in here.
Okay.
I'm just gonna list these off, and then we're gonna.
If I hear something I like,
I'll talk about it more.
I'll say something.
So I want to have a little disclaimer here. I did have a list that included like 60 albums. So there's going to be a lot of things that these are great albums. I wish I could talk about them more.
I mean,
but we don't have the time.
Podcast about it later, but
we could, yeah, but I don't have the time. So I'm just going to list them off pretty quickly. So number 1, First Aid Kit, The Big Black and the Blue, Jack White, Blunderbuss, Queens of the Stone Age, Like Clockwork, St. Vincent, her self-titled album, Karen Elson, The Ghost Who Walks, Frank Ocean, Channel Orange, Courtney Barnett, Sometimes I Sit and Think, and Sometimes I Just Sit, Childish Gambino, Camp, his first mixtape, The Civil Wars, Barton Hollow, Courtney Barnett, Tell Me How You Really Feel, Father John Misty, God's Favorite Customer, The Head and the Heart, their self-titled album, My Chemical Romance, Danger Days, The True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys, 2010.
My Chemical, okay. I didn't think they still made music, but
that was their last album. It's 2010.
I was
They
like,
just
that's
barely made the cut. Of Monsters and Men, My Head is an Animal. So those are my honorable mentions. I wish they could have made the list. I wish we could talk about them more, but we don't have time. So
I like the first Childish Gambino. I forgot about that.
yeah, Camp. That's probably one of my favorites of his.
Yeah, I like that more than Because of the Internet.
Yeah, I see why.
And also Channel Orange. I didn't really like Channel Orange. I see that as an honorable mention. But what was Father John Misty? I don't think I've heard that one. I heard the other one. But everything else.
This one I listed from Father John Misty was his newest one. Just came out like 2018, I think.
Oh, see,
yeah,
I missed that one.
Yeah.
All
right. Those are my honorable mentions.
I only have a couple because, whatever. Radiohead, I don't know what it's called. I forgot what it's called. I don't have it on here. Moon-shaped pool? What the?
Is it the one with like Burn the Witch?
Yeah, I love that song. Sorry. I wasn't prepared for the honorable mentions. Aesop Rocky. Aesop Rock. I said Ace. See, look, I always get them mixed up because they mess me up.
Too close together.
Yeah. His, See, look, I'm not prepared like you for the honorable mentions. I'm so sorry. I forgot about
it's great. Take your time, really. It's just
you can give the Impossible Kid. That's what it's called.
Oh.
Quale Chris. Everything's okay. Everything's good. I think. Tyler the Creator. I will shout out both his last 2 albums. Igor and Fireboy. I think he really matured this past decade.
He did.
Like what he was making before.
Yes.
Gorillaz.
I know which one you're talking
Plastic Beach.
Oh, Plastic Beach. That's a good one too.
I think that was like the one before.
They had one
later
on.
on.
Yeah.
I don't really like this, but I just started listening to the album. That probably could have made my list if I listened to it more. And one more, 21 Pilots.
No.
Trench.
Which one?
Trench.
Which one is Trench?
The one with the bird. You ever listen to it?
Is that the newest one?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
What, you don't like it?
No, I hate that band. What? So you listen to it, right? Their old shit is good. Vessel, I think, is from 2013. That's a good album.
You don't like the newest one?
No.
What's wrong with it?
They're trash. All their songs are the same.
No, it's not.
He's got great lyrics sometimes.
Like the Neon Gravestones, that's a good song.
I don't know if I even heard it. I probably listened to like 3 songs off Trench. And
the
I was
first song, when they he's like he's rapping pretty good on
he's
the
a
second
pretty
song.
good rapper.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
I'm not saying it's the best album, but it's good. Like, compared to the other stuff, like the one before it, I was surprised. I went into that.
I'll probably have to listen to it again, because I think I only listened to like 1 or 2 songs off of that one.
Uh-huh.
I hate the one before it so much.
Oh yeah,
Blurry Face, that shit sucks.
Yeah, I put that in there. I wasn't gonna put it in my top 20, but I just wanted to put it in there.
I'm really surprised. I didn't think you liked them at all.
I didn't. I swear I did. I listened to the last time it was trash. I'm like, what happened? But I don't know. It was just good to me. Like, it was a decent album. I was just surprised by it. And it's like unique song topics for the most part.
Yeah, he definitely.
Like other pops, rock. But some songs like whatever. Huh?
Not rock.
Pop rock. I said pop
it's
rock.
not even. It's just pop. It's not rock. There's no rock.
What was okay? We're
just
not going to go into that.
Doesn't mean it's rock.
We're not going into that because you know way more about rock.
It's got triggered. It's got triggered.
I'm sorry. Okay, so that was my honorable mention. I could probably name a lot more, but
yeah,
I just want to focus on the top 20.
This top 20 is definitely like very defining for me in terms of music. Like, I guess this was like my formative years.
Oh yeah, me too.
Like where I became an adult. So it was like late high school into my early 20s. So a lot of this is very, it's stuff that really will stick with me probably for a while, I think. So I'm excited.
I feel the same way. Yeah. You can't say it any better. But let's start with, so we're gonna go through 20 through 11.
So what we're gonna do is we're not gonna spend as much time on 20 through 11 as we are in the top 10. So both of us are gonna go through our 20 through 11. And kind of rattle off like a paragraph about why we include this one on our list.
Yeah. And
then we'll get into the good stuff.
Let's do it.
Alright, I'm going to go first.
You going to go first?
I'm going to go first, as we agreed, dog. Alright. Oh, now you're acting like you forgot.
Yeah, I forgot.
We just agreed to this like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. The amount of mentions are looking unprofessional, even though I'm always prepared.
Yeah, you're like not prepared. What the hell's wrong?
Okay, the honorable
mentions. You were always the one who's prepared, and I'm not prepared. Okay. And now I look like a fucking classy guy.
You do, because it has to be music, and you're.
I'm elitist when it comes to music.
Yeah.
I'm definitely elitist.
I can't wait to get you mad. Well, you won't get mad because you'll probably don't.
I'm already mad. You got 21 Pilots.
As an honorable mention, I really did that to make you mad. I like.
Well, it made me mad.
But I really like that album, though. I do.
I love Vessel. It's from 2013. Other than that band sucks.
Okay.
My top 20.
I disagree for that album.
Number 20 from 2011 is Simple Math by Manchester Orchestra. So Manchester Orchestra is one of my favorite bands. They have another entry on here, which I liked a little bit more. Simple Math is just a great album. It's kind of like when they really became who they were. Number 19 is You Plus Me, Rose Avenue. So this band, they're not a band, they're a duo. Do you know singer Pink? You know singer Pink, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she did a...
Pink, is it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Pink, like the pop singer. She did a duet acoustic album with this guy who does like City in Color. Have you ever heard of City in Color? They did an album together
Mm-hmm.
as the name You Plus Me, and it's fantastic. Just super sad, remorseful love songs, and I've never heard Pink sound this good.
I mean, Pink is
She's
a
great
pretty
singer.
good, yeah. But like the song is like kind of shallow.
Kind of shitty. So
Yeah.
this is like her with like actually pretty decent songs. So I would definitely recommend it to anybody who likes folk music or acoustic music in general. Number 18 is the Decemberists, I'll Be Your Girl. So the Decemberists are one of my favorite bands. I didn't like this album as much as I liked their past albums, but that being said, since they're one of my favorite bands, it obviously would make sense that I would put them on this list. It's a solid album from start to finish. They're usually kind of a folk rock, you know,
I
very
think you
like...
had me listen. I'm sorry, had me listen to.
I might have.
It was either that or
Hazards. No, I think it was this one, because I
Yeah.
think I told you to listen to this one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I liked it.
it's good. It's like, the songwriting is like, Colin Malloy is a great songwriter. The songs haven't waned in quality, and they started to expand their sound into a little more electronic, which they never really did before. Everything else was always very like rootsy arrangements, you know, violins and shit.
That.
That's really good too. I mean, like that's where they kind of started, and that's also, I think it's where they're at their best. But this album did a great job of incorporating that into this new, more electronic sound. So that's number 18. Number 17 is The Hunter by Mastodon. This is one of two like heavy metal bands I have on
Mastodon.
this. Mastodon.
Mm.
They're one of my favorite metal bands. They're just like, I don't know why I love them so much. I guess they're like very commercial sounding, but also very heavy. And the way that they combine those two things together, I think is just great. They have like 3 singers in the band. They're all really talented musicians. The drummer is fucking amazing, insane, and he sings. So
He sings with.
He sings. And drums. It's
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
awesome. So I think The Hunter is their best album. It's from 2011, and just has
Haven't they been gone for a long time?
Mastodon has been going since probably like early 2000s. I think like 2003
Mastodon.
or 2004. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know much about. I like heavy metal, but I don't know much about the history. Of
You
it.
should check out Mastodon. Their shit's kind of like trippy, psychedelic metal, but it's also heavy as shit.
I like heavy.
Yeah. The Hunter is just my favorite album. It has, like, in my opinion, like, the best selection of songs. But they have a lot of great albums out there, too, besides The Hunter. Number 16 is Fleet Fox's Helplessness Blues
Yeah.
from 2011.
I should have guessed that.
I just love folk rock. You know, I love, like, alternative, indie, that's really roots sounding, and that's Fleet Foxes in a nutshell. And I think that album, Helplessness Blues, is just where they were at their most, like, folky. And they had a kind of a wider arrangement than the first 2 albums. They had more instrumentation, a lot of world sounds, like Asian sounds, and Eastern-inspired songs. So that's probably one of my favorite albums of all time.
Of all time?
Probably up there.
Wait,
I mean, all these are
This
probably...
is like 13?
This is 16.
16?
But, I mean, all these albums I love. Like I said, it was a really formative time for me. So, it really stuck out. But, unfortunately, I just like some of these albums on here. I think I listened to them a little bit more.
I think you did yours like different from mine. I'll
Maybe.
tell you in a second.
But, I don't know. I like a lot of this shit. The point is, it's one of the best folk albums ever, I think. Number 15, another great folk band. At first they were a folk band. They kind of evolved into something a little bit more just like alternative, but kind of shitty alternative pop. But the debut album by Milo Green, it's just called Milo Green, and it's just really good harmony-driven alternative rock. And I don't know what the hell happened to this band, but they totally they did lose a couple band members over time, and the music really suffered. You know, creatively they just became kind of stale and boring. Whereas this first album had a lot of really great songs to offer, I thought. 14 is Modest Mouse, Strangers to Ourselves.
Modest Mouse?
It's their only album this decade. You never heard of Modest Mouse?
Yeah, but I don't know they still make music.
This is their only album this decade. Came out in 2015. Before that, their last album was 2006. So there was a big gap in between.
Almost as big as Tool.
Not quite as... We're going to get to that.
I know.
But I did love Strangers to Ourselves a lot. I think it's one of their best albums. It's just, I mean, they definitely took that time and they had a lot of quality songs written. There's a wide variety. There's like songs that sound a little more electronic. There's one that's like only a minute long, and it's like it sounds like they're hitting like a pot and pan with a guitar.
I like it.
Wide variety.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot to choose from on that album, and that's why I made this list. It's one of their strongest, I think. Number 13. It's really the only pop album on here. Is Some Nights by Fun. I actually really love Fun a lot.
I love Fun. I love the lead singer. Who is it?
Nate Roos.
Yeah, I love.
Got a great voice. Just such a
it's
great
very
voice.
unique and it's just overpowering. Like how emotions feels like he's like really into it.
Yeah, I like Some Nights because the lyrics are atypical for pop. That and the melodies are just so good. Like every song is like has the potential to be a single on the radio because it's so catchy. There's not that many songs. There's only like 10, and there's 2 of them I hate, and the other 8 are like fantastic.
I feel like that's always the case on most albums. Like most of it's great, and then like just 1 or 2 songs like you didn't need it.
Yeah, like why'd you make those?
Yeah,
just leave the other 8, and it would have been perfect.
I feel like companies they want like a certain amount. I feel like 10 is like the perfect number, like sweet spot for most like companies like music groups that. They need to hit that a quota.
Yeah.
And like I think they should kind of stretch it. I hate that when it happens.
Me too. So Some Nights is an almost perfect album. And I don't really like pop music, so this is saying a lot for me to include a pop band on here. But Fun is definitely one of the best ones. And unfortunately they're not around anymore. So number 12 is Because of the Internet, Childish Gambino. Now I do like Camp a lot, which is his first mixtape. And I only include Because of the Internet higher than that because I feel like his sound evolved a lot more and he started to divulge into more artistry than he did on Camp, which is more straight up rap. Well, it is good too. I mean, he actually is a good singer, songwriter. Yeah, he can do a lot of different things. I just felt like on Because of the Internet, he was definitely at his most experimental, and I just listened to it the other day to get like a refresher, and I was just surprised at how different every song sounded to me. Some of the raps aren't as good, I will say that. But I think the actual song structures and like the style, the arrangements, like they're so unique. Every song has kind of got its own life. So that's why I include that.
I have to give another listen because I think the first couple of songs really soured me on it. I think what was one of the earlier songs like it's a single on that.
Well, 3005 is one of the most popular.
Yeah,
that one's not that good.
I hate that.
It's like the weakest song on the album, if you ask me.
Yeah,
because it's like straight pop music. It's
like going from that to that. That always happens to me when like an artist, like I like what they're doing at first, and then when they go to like a different style, I was like, oh come on, I don't want this. And then like later on, I usually appreciate it more.
Yeah,
it's like I like when artists do that, but it's hard for me to get over that hump sometimes.
Yeah, and I will say that song to me sucks. All the popular songs, like when I was checking out that album on Spotify, like I saw the top songs, I'm like, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really glad I listened to the whole album because I liked it a lot more than the top songs. But anyway, I thought that was probably his best album. Number 11 is Bon Iver's self-titled album, Bon Iver. Again, like this was kind of like one of those viral bands. Not a band, it's like a person. He's just basically one guy.
Mm-hmm.
But a viral project that got huge in like 2008 with his release for Emma, forever ago. That was like just folk music. It was basically him and a guitar. And then on this album, he expanded his sound to have like a full band. And you can just hear the difference. It's like exactly what you would think would happen with this songwriter with a more full arrangement. And I just thought it was a great album. You know, like most of the songs are pretty good. There's a couple weak tracks, but for the most part, it's a nice solid entry and probably the best album in Bon Iver's career. So that's my number 11. So that is my 20 through 11.
Alright. Let me do mine. I have this set up. Okay, I have a playlist with the songs on it, okay? So I'm ready. Number 20. Denzel Curry, Taboo. You ever heard of that?
No.
You never heard Denzel Curry? He's a Florida rapper. You know, he's kind of different. He has like a very like hyper flow. he's a faster rapper, but like in this, I guess he covers different topics like social political topics, like you know how like rappers are like overdosing on pills and like he lambasts that. Just a lot of catchy music on here. It's not perfect, but I like his style. Number 19, David Bowie.
Black Star.
Yeah.
I don't know about him, but that's a good album.
Yeah. It's sad like that I mean, it's great that how like, he went out like with such a great album. I just wanted more from it, but I didn't really listen to David Bowie before this as much. But like this got me to listen to him more.
Yeah.
And like he died the day before my birthday. I mean, no, this released the day before my birthday, and then he died the next day.
Yeah.
And like one of the songs, I think "This Girl Loves Me," like where the fuck did Monday go? Like it's like whoa, it's like he's talking about his death, and it's like it's too real for me. But number 19, David Bowie. Kids See Ghosts. It's Kanye and Kid Cudi. Oh. They released it in 2018. Like in 2018, Kanye he released a whole bunch of albums, but this one's definitely the best one of all of them. Kid Cudi he's been releasing a lot of shitty music over the past couple years to me, but when they came together for this one, I think it was really good. It's like kind of experimental, like lo-fi hip hop, and it seemed like they were actually trying on this one for once. But I really like that one. It's a little bit too short for me though. Sophie. Okay, I got it. What's the name of this album? Oil of Every Pearl's Insides.
What the fuck?
It's trippy. I would call it like futuristic pop, synth pop. I'm like you. I love pop, like experimental pop, not like just normal pop. Yeah. But this is. I was listening to this earlier. She has a beautiful, beautiful voice. I believe. I mean, I think you might like this. I mean, it's kind of similar to Chooch, but.
Well, I just want to say we need to send each other. I think this list too, because I definitely want to check this stuff out more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
definitely.
like afterwards, we'll forward each other like this list because I'm interested.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna forget all these names. So.
Oh yeah. Like most of the ones I've heard before are yours, but I haven't listened to it. And it's like
I'm definitely gonna send. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Sophie, Oil of Every Pearl's Insides. It's very artsy, like art house, art pop. But she has a beautiful voice, like very experimental pop, like out of this world. You never heard of. Like I hope like people in the year 2040 is gonna listen to this. I feel like that kind of stuff. You probably heard of them. This is number 16, number 15.
Wait. I think I'm 15.
Yeah, 15. Number 15, A Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah.
You heard that one?
Their new album was pretty good.
Yeah, we got it from here. Thank you for your service. Tribe Called Quest is one of my favorite hip hop albums. Yeah. Favorite hip hop groups from the 90s. They started in 90, and they started with the jazz rap, like nothing like that before. But they came back from like this in 2016, and I had no expectations from this because usually when groups they take a long hiatus, like it's never like lives up to expectation. But like almost every song I hear is great.
And they sound mostly the same.
Yeah, the chemistry is still there.
Yeah.
But Phife Dawg, one of the members, he passed away. I was like, wow. And like he passed away before this, and I just want to listen to it. Like oh man, tribute to him. But this is a real album, and I can't believe they got it together.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, like we were saying earlier, like it's like a couple songs like, oh, I wish you took it off. It would have been a lot better.
Yeah.
And they made like the appearance of Kendrick Lamar is like that's like one of the worst songs. I can't believe that. But this double album, the first album, like the first disc is just great. You should just listen to that, like some songs in the second one. But alright, I'm going on too long about that. Okay, next one is number 14, Open Mike Eagle, Brick Body Kids, Still a Daydream. I just recently started listening to Open Mike Eagle not that long ago. I think this is his best album. His most like concise. He incorporates more like singing in this because he didn't really sing before this, and he's a pretty good singer.
Yeah,
and it's like more lo-fi hip hop. I'm not a big fan of lo-fi hip hop that much when it's done. Like sloppy, but this is done really well. And it's about his how his grandmother's housing projects, like she was living at, they told him to get out, and they tore it down. That's why it was called that. But it's just good music, good hip hop. I think you would like it.
Actually, I checked out a couple of his.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I saw him. Not like I don't think I've listened to like a whole album, but I'm familiar with him.
Yeah, he's good.
He is cool. Yeah,
I think he's very, very underrated.
Yeah.
Number 13, Bjork, Volkera.
She had an album this decade?
Mm-hmm. She had 2. Really? Actually 3, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, but she might be my favorite, just like vocalist.
Right,
Like,
she's crazy good.
Yeah, I just get blown away by her range, like just the way she sounds is just so beautiful.
Unique. It's like primal almost.
Yeah, I just love it.
Yeah,
and she's like the thing she does is just unique. But about this album is after our breakup of her like longtime partner, and you could feel like how broken she is. Like she goes going through the relationship, and like the song called Black Lake. It's just about her breakup, like a 10-minute song, just super depressing. My list is pretty like dark and depressing.
Yeah.
But this one's not. Number 12, Run the Jewels. Run the Jewels 2.
That's a good album.
Yeah. This is definitely the best one. I was listening to her earlier, like, "Oh My Darling, Don't Cry." That's like the banger of the decade. I love that song. I mean, they have great chemistry. Like you can feel that they're actually friends. You know, best friends.
Yeah, for sure.
Killer Mike and LP, whoever it is now. But I was listening to LP before this, and like he got really popular from this, and he's in movies like
he was in
soundtracks.
Portlandia. They were in Portlandia.
Yeah,
the album release. So
I guess
third one.
Yeah, I guess he was in Breaking Bad. Like he has a song in Breaking Bad too.
He does.
Yeah, he does.
Oh.
It's with a guy from 9 Inch Nails.
Trent Reznor?
Trent Reznor, yeah.
Holy shit.
You gotta listen to that. I think I told you to listen to that before, but
probably.
But back to Run Jewels, like great hip hop man. I feel like LP made more like better beats back in the day, but I think he's in a good place. I feel like he's happy. But
yeah.
Number 12, Run the Jewels 2. My only thrash metal band album out here, Vector. Terminal Redux.
What's the band?
Vector.
Vector, I've never heard of them.
No, yeah, they're not very well known. I came out 2016, yeah. I prefer thrash metal than like death metal when they're high pitched. I enjoy that, but
yeah,
this one is like kind of artistic, as like they have like slower songs where they're like he just singing really low and no more voice, and then it changes, and it's like a intergalactic story throughout the whole entire album.
I got one of my top 10 is like that.
Oh, it is? Yeah, it's insane. Like he finds like this material to stop time where he takes over this colony.
Dude, this is my music. I don't know how I haven't heard this shit.
Really?
This is exactly
Vector?
I've never heard of that, but this is like this kind of shit, like concept album, like driven metal. I love that shit.
It's awesome. Like not every song is like it kind of goes on a little bit too long. I think it probably could have made my top 10, but that's what I'm looking for in like a thrash metal band, something crazy like that. And then I think you would enjoy it.
I'll check it out.
You should definitely check that out. Number 11, JPEG Mafia. All My Heroes Are Cornballs. You ever heard of them?
No. Did you say 2 11s?
Number 11.
I thought you had 2. I thought 12 was Run the Jewels, so I thought Vector was 11.
Oh.
I think you're going into your top 10, bro.
No, I'm not. Top 10 is not that. I swear it's not. Well, whatever. This is. Hold on a second. See? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay. Well, then you listed some wrong. But alright.
Whatever, man. I should have made an extra list like that.
Yeah.
So said, okay, whatever. Okay, JPEG Mafia, all my heroes are cornballs. Now, he's a troll.
Okay.
But he's a great troll. He he's very combative, like with the alt-right.
Okay.
It's hilarious. And like he's always like, he's kind of like how I wish Eminem was now. Like he's kind of really confrontational. Yeah. But his production is very unique. This album, it's more what's that like? What's it called? I forgot what it's called, but it's very unique. It's kind of, I guess you can say, closer to Death Grips, how he's been compared to, but I think he has his own lane. I mean, he has songs called "Jesus Forgive Me, I'm a Thought." Song Keenan vs. Kel, Beta Male Strategies,
Wow.
Grimy Waifu, like it's like comedic, and he has a lot of like wrestling and video game references. So you know he's funny, but he has great production too. He does all his production. Okay, now I'm done with my
You're 20 through 11.
20 through 11. I'm gonna add something.
I don't know what the count was for that, like what number was what, but
Okay,
I know the albums that. Do you want to go through it and clarify?
17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. Oh no, I did it right. I named them.
You just numbered them.
Yeah, I was just going off.
Yeah.
So I did it right. Kind of.
Well, I wouldn't say right.
As long as I get the names right and the album's right, I'll be better on the video game one.
Yeah. You fucked up this one, so.
I did. Okay, number 10 for you.
Number 10 for me.
Top 10.
For the whole decade. The album I
Ooh.
waited 13 years for. Fear Inoculum by Tool.
Oh, number 10.
It's number 10. It didn't make. It's not number 1.
Okay.
It would have been number 1 probably if it would have been released sooner, and if it was just better. Tool's past their prime. That's okay.
Oh no.
No, it's okay. It's okay. You can't stay in your prime forever.
Mm-hmm.
Their prime was in 2001. That was a long time ago. They're like 50-year-old dudes. The fact that they're even making music that is like this good at that age is pretty ridiculous. But overall, I do love Fear Inoculum. It's like, it's epic. It's long. Every song's too long, but that's exactly what Tool is. The songs are good. Like musically, they're still at like their fucking best. Danny Carey, the drummer, is a god. I worship the ground he fucking walks on. Like, he's probably the best drummer. Actually, the best drummer of all time just died. Neil Peart. Danny Carey is the second best drummer.
Second best? Oh, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure. Well, now
Danny
he's the
Carey's,
best now.
Now he's the best alive, for sure.
That's messed up.
But yeah, they actually just won the Grammy for Best Male Performance. I'm not saying the Grammy sucks, but I mean,
yeah,
but that makes sense.
But the Grammys got kind of right this year.
With that one, yeah. And Billie Eilish, I don't really like her, but I think she deserves a Grammy for being different, innovative. This is Tool's time, though.
Yeah, let's go. I'm sorry.
But yeah, no, Fear Inoculum it's like, it's weird. It's just very much Tool. Like they haven't like detracted from what they were. I'm really glad that like the 13-year wait didn't like. They're not like, oh, we're gonna become something different. We're gonna try to do something different. It's mostly the same Tool I knew, which is what I wanted. I wanted just a new album from the same old band that I love. So, in a way, I got that. It's not better than Lateralis, but at the end of the day,
is it better than
10,000 Days?
Yeah, and also what's
Anima?
Yeah, Anima.
No, it's not better than Anima, but it is better. I'd say it's better than 10,000 Days for me. Just because I think the music is a lot more complex, which makes sense. They spend more time on it, than they did for 10,000 Days.
Just a couple years,
a couple decades.
I mean, they haven't been working on it the whole time.
No, they haven't.
Yeah, so.
But still, it took them too long to get it out, and I hope the next one doesn't take that long. One can hope.
Are they still making music?
They plan to. They're still healthy, so I think Danny Carey kind of teased the drummer that would be happening, but they haven't they don't have anything solid down yet for sure. Like they're gonna tour this year, finish that shit out, and then. But I wouldn't count them out for probably one more album before they retire. Okay. Yeah.
Sweet. I'm surprised as low as
that low.
That is. Yeah.
Yeah. No. That's why I think I was probably, if anything was gonna surprise you, it'd be that one. But the thing is, like I was saying earlier, there's so many great albums that came out this decade that. Even though I love Tool and they're one of my favorite bands, like that album wasn't my favorite of theirs, so it makes sense that they'd be kind of lower on the list.
I mean, but 10 for 10 years. Yeah.
It's still
that's
pretty
still
good.
great.
Yeah.
Can I go?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Number 10.
Number 10, Danny Brown, Downward Spiral.
Danny Brown.
You don't know who Danny Brown is? He's pretty popular rapper from Detroit. The best Detroit rapper going right now. Better than Eminem.
It sounds familiar, but I don't know if I can actually name a song of his.
What is his most popular song? He hasn't very popular, like, guest appearances, but this, he's the one that's, like, very yelpy, like, high-pitched rapping. You ever heard of that?
I mean, I've heard a couple that are pretty high-pitched.
Well, no,
bad,
it's different. He's
okay.
Different. No, like, don't compare him to that.
The one guy, I don't know his name, but he did all those songs that, like, I used to hear when I worked at the Dark Place.
The Dark Oh, McDonald's. Hold on, let me see if... I need this. Okay, never mind.
Forbidden Zone.
You probably haven't heard of any of these songs, never mind. But, Detroit rapper, came out with album Triple X, which I thought it was really great. But this one,
What's the song called again?
Atrocity Expedition.
Okay.
Downward Spiral is like the message of the album. It's him going on a downward spiral of drugs, alcohol, like just destroying his life. Like it in songs where he's like, you know, abusing that stuff. He's like, it's your normal high pitched voice. You gotta listen to that. Yeah. Like I hated it at first because like it's something different, but I gotten so used to it because it's like a character, like a different.
I do like that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's like it makes sense, and especially with this album, because for the next song, like Tell Me What I Don't Know, it's about him like going through life like in Detroit because it's like he went to jail, like he had a rough life going ahead, but he's like, you know, speaking and like rapping his normal voice, and I never heard that before. He never did that before. And then like a couple of songs later, like he's losing his mind, like Lost, Ain't It Funny, like it's insane beats on here. Like you don't like Gold Dust. The songs on here, I've never heard a beat like I don't even know how to describe it. I don't know if you ever heard the producer Paul White. He produces for Open Mic Eagle. Yeah, okay. He's a great producer, hip hop producer. He does like out of the world stuff for a lot of people, and like he produced most of this, and it's great. I know, like it just like song after song, it's just insanity, and then like he keeps on coming. Like songs where he's just talking normal, it's more like he's off his high. That's how I feel like he positioned the album, and he's just talking about like, oh, don't go where I'm going. Like just look at me, example of like you can go through that life and just come out better for it. And, like last song, he's talking like mostly about that, and he ends the album like that. And it's pretty tight throughout. There's just like one or two songs where I'm like, like Dance in the Water is like kind of a dance song. I didn't really like it. But there's a great posse cut with Kendrick Lamar and Earl Sweatshirt and Ab-Soul that I really like. It's called Really Dope. Kendrick has a great verse on there. But I love this album. It could have been higher, but it's just those couple of songs. So,
it's kind of symbolic, I guess, than that persona. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so he's just not talking crazy, just talk crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it. It's like fun, and it's unique. It's something you have to get used to, but I really enjoyed it.
Okay, number 9 for me is probably my favorite album from this band that I've been checking out the past couple of years. They're called Lucius, Lucius. They're 2 women, and I think there's like a couple other guys in the band, but they don't matter. The girls have like voices of angels, like gods, and they harmonize together, and just the songwriting is so great. The last album they put out was called Nudes. I don't know why it was called that, but I think it was because it's stripped down from like they were really just rearranged songs that they stripped down, a couple of new ones. That was also great, but it was kind of just like a compilation album more than like an actual LP. So the one that I picked was called Will the Woman. It's their first album from I think 2014. Anyway, just great songs. Like there's so many songs I could pick out, like 2 of Us on the Run, which is kind of like an acoustic, stripped back song. Not a lot, just really beautiful, kind of heartbreaking, and all their songs are really like they deal with kind of like sort of alternative, different topics. Like sometimes they'll talk about a girl who's kind of like the first song, Will the Woman, the self-titled track, is like about a chick who kind of defines gender norms and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the lyrical content is really interesting, and it's different. Like every song's a little bit different. They cover a bunch of different topics. You know, sometimes it's like anxiety, sometimes it's like relationship issues, depression, sometimes like the song Neighbors, but that's on a different album. Anyway, just Will the Woman has the best production overall. The songs are really colorful, and the album cover is really colorful. Maybe that's why I associate with that, but everything just sounds so full and interesting. It's like there's so much to listen to, and their voices, like I said, like these two chicks, when they harmonize, I feel like they are like sisters separated at birth or something, because they sound perfect together. Like they're so perfect.
So how long they've been together?
I don't think they've been a band since like early 2010s, but their first album I'm pretty sure is 2014. Yeah, but just this is probably their best album in my opinion. They haven't really been out too long, and they've only put out a couple albums, and one of them was the compilation one. So I can't wait to see what this band does. But for a first album, this one definitely stuck out to me the most. It's so yeah, that's my number 9 is Will the Woman by Lucius.
That sounds like something I like.
You want some solid harmonies, and
I like beautiful harmonies.
it's kind of like indie pop. It's really upbeat, even though sometimes the lyrics are depressing. A lot of it's actually pretty upbeat sounding.
Mm-hmm.
So
See,
even though most of my list is dark and depressing.
See, look, that's a I like that you said that because it kind of relates to my number 9.
All right,
It's a little swag, Snake-lay. I'm about to say Swag-lay. Whatever that is. Something you should be familiar with. Shoo, forget.
That was wow. Yeah.
I'm not gonna talk about it.
I'm gonna talk about my feelings about it in a little bit.
I can't wait. But yeah, that's my number 9. I love it. Obviously, I have the LP for it. I'm not gonna talk about it until later. Okay. Number 9.
All right.
Well, I won't talk about it.
No, that's fair enough because I definitely have some things to say. That was a trip.
Let me just say that is their most accessible album by a long shot.
That's their most accessible too.
The one they
that's saying a lot.
The one they released last year is the most insane thing I've ever listened to. one of the most insane things.
Okay.
Insane. Okay, but I love it. Go ahead.
All right.
We'll talk about that.
So we're gonna continue the conversation about Zuzu?
Shoo.
Shoo.
Like shoe.
Shoo, forget.
Yeah.
Because it was interesting. He had me listen to that last week as a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna talk about our
challenges. Know they watched last episode.
Anyway, I'm just reminding them. You need reminders of previously on this thing. You need that on every show.
The podcast.
Yes.
Okay. Done.
I don't know why I have me too. Like, what the fuck is it? I don't know what's wrong with my voice. I'm just I have to cough all day today.
All day? You're getting old.
I'm dying. It's the coronavirus.
You want Corona? I got some Corona. Oh, you're talking about that.
The virus, bro, from China.
Dang. I only know
We're sick.
I only know what things happen in Japan. Okay,
die.
I don't care about China.
Number 8.
Okay, let's go.
Number 8.
Number 8.
My number 8 is the only album released by one of my favorite bands this decade, brand new, and their last album.
Brand new. I've heard of them.
Yes. So their album, this one I'm actually going to take a minute to talk about because it's tough. Here's the thing. So this album came out probably 9 years or something after Daisy. That was 2009, so I guess it was 8 years. This came out in 2017. It was really great. I think for an album that took that long to come out, it was really great. Do you know why it's a thing?
Yeah, it's the one.
He got Me Too'd.
Yep.
Yes.
I almost made a Me Too joke when he said Me Too.
Oh, so this this album is so good, and it's just they evolved so much from being an emo punk band in the early 2000s to being a band that actually wrote really interesting sounding songs. They deal with obviously depression. If you listen to the album, it clearly is a sonic representation of depression, and it's so beautifully done, and it's so emotionally poignant, and it really they're one of those bands that is so able to capture the sound of sadness that not a lot of other bands do. I mean, sometimes lyrics are sad. Sometimes something it might make you feel something like remorseful for love or something, depending on the chord progression. But this actually just sounds like it's from like the bottom of your soul. Like this is you at the bottom of the water and you're drowning and there's no hope. And
that's where I like to go in my music.
That's how I feel with this album. And it's such a great representation of that. And a lot of their work is like that too, but this one in particular was really good. Now, the bad part of this is that, yes, so Jesse Lacey got caught, the lead singer, songwriter, the guy who's basically the visionary behind the band, got, it was revealed that he solicited nudes from underage girls for like years and forcefully kissed underage girls and women, like, serially for years. I had no idea.
This is proven to be true.
Oh, he admitted it.
He admitted it.
He apologized, too.
Ooh.
And so, this is how the band went out.
Maybe that's why he's depressed.
They were on tour, and then they stopped touring when that shit came out, and now they're done. For obvious reasons. So, I guess the reason I wanted to spend so much time on this one is because it's like this weird thing where, like, I don't know how to feel about this album. I place it so highly on there because I love it. You know, like, aside from everything he did, it's like this weird thing where I don't know how to separate the art from the artist, but this is my best attempt to do so. Because it had such an impact on me, it's really hard for me to, like, shut it out, you know? I don't know how to not listen to it. Because to me, it was, like, it was defining for me. It's so high on this list, obviously, you know, like, it was something I really loved.
Mm-hmm.
And it's become one of those things where it's like, there's certain things, I have this with a lot of different things, not just with this album, but with like Louis C.K.'s comedy.
Yeah, I was thinking about him.
It's all that shit, you know? Like, how do you separate art from artist completely? Like, every time I listen to this, I think about it. So it's like, it's always just this weird limbo for me, where it's this thing that I love, done by this person that I kind of hate now. So, it's definitely the toughest entry I have on this list to put there. But
so in the album, is he talking about kissing underage girls?
No, you would never get that. Like, he talks about being kind of, like, promiscuous and having affairs and cheating on his girlfriend. You can kind of tell that that's a thing, but you never really think that it's, like... I mean, maybe if you dissect it now with, like, that mindset, if you go and look at it with that lens, you can see maybe he was referring to that sort of thing sometimes. Because, like, when someone's depressed or, like... They always will label themselves as, like, a monster, or if they're self-destructive, you know, but that doesn't always mean that they're a child predator, right? So it's like, you hear that in a lot of different singers' albums. There's actually one on here, higher up on the list, that also talks about being kind of self-destructive from time to time. But that person, I'm pretty sure, is not, you know, a child predator. I hope not.
You see,
hope she's
not.
Know.
So, my opinion on this,
fuck you.
I don't know, asshole. I feel like I gotta separate the artist from the art a lot in many cases.
Yeah.
In my past, and it's become easier for me because I'm in a separate mode. Like, I try to separate it completely. Like, you just think of it as like an actor. Like, you know, I'm trying to think of like Breaking Bad, like Walter White. Just think of it as that. Like, he's just playing a character. If you actually knew him, or like that was one of your family members, of course you don't care about anything. I know it's more personal, but it's just art. You know, he's creating art. It's not everything's not true of what he's saying. I mean, it's coming from a personal place, but I think you just have to completely separate it. Because if you don't do that, it can happen to anybody, like any of your favorite artists.
I'm so afraid of it. It happens, you know, with the whole Me Too movement. I'm glad it happened, but it does come with the consequence of like things that used to feel good listening to. I kind of now feel guilty. I'm not saying that that's a problem. I'm just saying that that's like the result of that, you know.
If it makes your life better, don't feel bad if it makes your. If you think if it's like,
well, that's because it does. Like,
yeah,
it like. You know, it gives me, like, it makes me feel less alone sometimes, listening to stuff like that, you know? And that's why it's such a big impact on me. So, like, to have this thing get, like, kind of tainted in that way, it hurts now to listen to. Like, it used to hurt because I was like, man, I felt that way.
Yeah.
You know, like, I could relate to it. And now it's like, I can relate to this person who I kind of, like, despise. So it's tough, you know?
See, that's why you can't pay attention to what an artist does on the outside. It's just like, you gotta separate yourself. That's why you don't watch interviews. I know it's kind of hard in this situation because it's so publicized, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a bad thing too. It's
a
like,
terrible thing.
It's not like he like is just disagrees with me about like politics or something. Like this is something that's like pretty bad.
But like, okay, so like for me, a rapper like brags about killing somebody, and I probably listen to many people that actually kill somebody or actually hurt somebody.
Yeah.
Badly. It's like it's impossible to know like what to do in that situation. Like, am I really going to stop myself from listening to like great art? Like,
yeah, no, I see where you're coming from.
And this is probably one of your favorite albums of all time.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, it's a good album. Like, I understand that.
No, I like really loved it.
Yeah. And it changed you. It makes you feel better, and it gets you out of a dark place, and like however it makes you feel. You gotta just separate yourself. Just think of them as brand new.
I tried to.
I know it's hard to do that.
Yeah.
But you just gotta do that because it's gonna keep on happening because people are pretty terrible people. Like,
they are.
Humans are
so
terrible.
bad?
And usually the best artists are the worst because they have like the most shit and like and they can express it. You know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, you're right. No, you're right. And you make.
I don't think you should feel bad.
Well,
Listen,
I
don't want to publicize it, but even though you're trying to do it.
Yeah, no, but I mean, that's the thing. Like, I don't like to be dishonest, and that's I like to be transparent, and I care about victims of sexual assault. Mm-hmm. So it's something that it hurts me to like listen to it. But at the same time, like I said, it's the music itself, apart from those things that I didn't know about, left an impact on me.
And you could think of it as like a learning lesson, like teach you like the music they make, like you can incorporate it into your own music. You can think of it as like
I can take pieces of it and not be that person.
Yeah,
that's true.
So you can think of it that way.
Yeah, I can take the good pieces of it and separate it. But this was the toughest entry on my list, but that's why I want to spend so much time on it, because it kind of presented that dilemma for me. So that was brand new science fiction. My number 8.
Oh man, that's a tough one.
It's a doozy.
Oh, okay. So my number 8 is the Drones. Feeling Kind of Free.
Wow, you really like them.
I love them.
Yeah, you told me to check them out.
I love this album though.
Okay.
I don't know why. I just like I don't know his name.
You know who they remind me of? The singer, at least.
Who?
Modest Mouse.
Really?
Yeah. Like, not the band itself, but his vocals.
You listened to his album, right?
Yeah, I think you told me to.
Did you listen to
the band?
Else?
Yeah, I've listened to a couple of their. Yeah.
I don't know. I enjoy his delivery. He just sounds like a complete asshole, and like it's just so much. Like some people don't. I don't need like the best singer. As long as you have like personality and you come.
Yeah, you sound unique. I guess. Yeah.
I can feel it every time when he's singing.
Yeah.
And some of the songs is kind of like a rap, hip hop fusion, like Time and Shud, wherever that is. And Boredom, like you remember Boredom? The song Boredom? He's like singing or rapping from a perspective like from somebody that's from the Middle East that's joining Islamic groups.
Wow. I might have heard it, but I didn't even make that connection because I didn't listen to it too like deeply or anything. But this is also like, years ago I listened to it. I didn't love it as much as you, so I didn't really like pick it up. But
it's just always it was probably higher like back then, but now like it's still up there.
It's stuck with you.
Yeah, it always stuck like the songs, like his voice. It's never like I don't hear that like their sound anywhere else.
Pretty unique. But like I was saying, like Modest Mouse, the singer, I think the singer sounds a lot like the singer Modest Mouse, Isaac Brock, because he kind of does the same thing, a little more melodically, but also very like he's kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but just so unique. And he doesn't really focus on like, does it sound like I'm a good singer? He's like, how can I sound different? How can I convey this emotion properly? You know. Because that guy kind of like growls and shit. The guy from the Drones, I mean, kind of like growls and whines a little bit. I guess I don't know. I just enjoy that. I think if he tried to like sing better, or be, I don't know how to describe it, but be like better in that, I think I wouldn't like it as much. It would detract, I think, from what they're trying to do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then like the song "To Think I Once Loved You," like it's just so heartbreaking. His like describing how like heartbroken he was, and like he's harmonizing with the female singer in the group. The female singing group only has like a couple verses on here, but when she sings, it's very haunting. Like I love when women like sound so like creepy. I love that. But I don't know her name either. But I was saying like boredom, like it's like he's talking about like, oh, I mean I've joined it because I don't want to get killed. Like he's kind of taking their side. I don't think he's not taking a side, but like looking.
No, I think he's trying to
side.
say like how it happens and like, and you know what, you can do that with a lot of different like terrorist groups or even like the alt-right. There was a really good documentary I watched about the alt-right, and they talked about how like they get like young men who are kind of lonely and they don't have much direction in life, and like it's something they turn to because they don't have anything else. They usually prey on people like that. ISIS is probably kind of the same way, I guess, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that I just thought that was like a very unique way of looking at things.
Yeah.
And then like shut down SETI. You know what SETI is?
SETI?
It's like SE. It's like SETI. It stands for something like it's like a company organization that looks for alien like
I've never heard that
signals, and like in that song he's like, oh, they're gonna shut down SETI because they're only doing it for their own pride. Like they're not really out to look for anything. And do you really want to meet somebody that probably is more higher intelligence than us? Like they're just making fun of them, and I enjoy the sound of it. It's like really harsh. Like I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a fusion of hip hop and I want to like rock. Industrial. It's just a unique sound, and I love it. That's about it.
My number 7. Have you ever heard of Coheed and Cambria, the band?
Say again?
Coheed and Cambria.
They sound familiar.
They're kind of like they started off as kind of like pop punkish, and then they kind of changed into more hard rock, heavy metal as their career went on. My pick for number 7 was their 2012 double album, The Aftermath. It's huge in terms of scope, right? Obviously, it's a double album. Mm-hmm. So this band, just so you know, some pretext, they their first 4 albums from like 2001 to like 2007, they followed a story. One continuous story. It was like this sci-fi story. It's really convoluted and crazy, and it's kind of like, yeah. But anyway, that's their first 4 albums, and that story kind of ended in 2007 with the part 4 or whatever. And then they had a prequel to that in 2010, and then this is a prequel to that prequel.
This is very convoluted.
It is very convoluted. You don't really have to follow the story of each one, and that's why I kind of like The Aftermath, this one the most, is because it's very contained. Mm-hmm. You don't really have to listen to the story, the rest of it, to make sense of it. It's kind of very contained within its own story, and it's about like a guy who's like, there's this, I guess, thing in space that unites dimensions or something, and he's a scientist, and he ventures into space in a craft by himself, and he tries to...
This is heavy metal?
It's like hard rock. It's not really heavy metal. It's kind of like, this one's just like alternative rock, but there's some songs that are pretty, you know, distorted and heavier.
Kind of sounds like Vector to me.
They have like he doesn't really, he sings like with clean vocals, you know what I'm referring to, but there's like really distorted guitars. It's got like, it's reverby, you know, it's heavy, but it's not like heavy in the way that like Metallica is. Mm-hmm. You know, it's more like Tool, I guess, in terms of heaviness. But yeah, it's just a great album. There's like a lot of song variety. Some of the songs are a little more peppier, upbeat sounding, you know, more like pop punk. Some are like actually like pretty hard rock metal songs. One is like really stripped back and it's got like a synth pad just like underneath, and he sings really quiet. The singer also just has a really unique voice. Like, he's super high. Like, there's not a lot of singers that sound like this guy. So, just a great rock opera. There's not a lot of rock operas anymore. So, I'm kind of glad that there's still a band that is committed to doing this sort of thing. I'm glad that it takes place in space, and it's just kind of... Yeah,
I like space.
You know, I like sci-fi, so it's like, it's nerdy, but at the same time, it's really accessible, I think, to most people who just like rock music, so... Yeah,
I want to listen to it, definitely.
Yeah.
Number 7, Daughters. You won't get what you want.
So the band's called Daughters?
Mm-hmm. And it's called You Won't Get What You Want. And it's the most heaviest, depressive, hell-raising album I've listened to probably all decade. I think they started in like 2000, like the early 2000s. I think it's more of like a math rock band, like very
Really?
yeah. They transitioned entirely, and their last album, self-titled Daughters album, came out 2010. But this is the like comeback. It's like a very hard rock. Man, it's like most of the songs are just the best song I hear, Satan in the Wait. It's like the music that Satan will, come out with when he opens up the earth. That's what he's like talking about. The earth opening and my body's open. Like everybody's like soul stealing. It's like every song is like the song Ocean Song. It's about a man like being just sick of life, and like he just out of nowhere just runs to the ocean and drowns himself. He's not really in his delivery is kind of similar to like the drones. It's like he's not really singing. He's more just a spoken word.
Mm.
It's some of it singing. And the reason They Hate Me, the song, it's like more of a traditional song, and I love like the groove of it. It's kind of like it sounds kind of like the cycle theme, like dun, 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 dun. It's really catchy. But like I don't know what like at the end of the song it's just like a large like explosion of sound. It's like destructive, like it's gonna rip my like eardrums out, and I love that about this album. There's only one song on like Daughter, the song Daughter that I'm like less thrilled about, but I think you might like it. It
sounds. I mean, like, everything.
It's intense. It's the most intense experience I've had.
You're like your taste is always so like challenging, but I don't say that in a bad way because I think it's like shoo shoo, right? Like that shit. I've never heard anything like that, so I can always count on you to like show me stuff. Because like when I go to listen to music, there's like two things that really like get me. It's like a good melody, or it's really unique. If they do both, then it's like one of my favorites. So Shoo Shoo does one of those. And
yeah, I don't know, melody. It's like it sounds like crazy soundscapes, like something I've never heard before,
right?
And like just loud abrasive stuff that I feel like I want to like.
It sounds
my
like
house is going to cave in.
Yeah, like it sounds like something you're like experiencing more than you're just like singing along to.
Oh yeah, I rarely sing along to stuff.
Yeah,
ever.
Yeah, I can tell.
It's like like this you don't sing along to. I mean, Satan in the Wait is one of the best songs of the decade. I love that song. It's like vampiric pianos. Like
that sounds great.
it's you gotta listen to that song. Anything you got that's.
I'm gonna listen to like probably your whole list. Like this is getting me so excited.
I want you to definitely listen to this. And there's only one song, Less Sex, which is like more low key, but it's still kind of like loud in certain parts. But this whole the album, it just starts with it's like slow, just like dun 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 dun, like for 3 minutes, and then finally he's like screams out of nowhere. It's like screaming and like just spoken word most of it, just explaining how like terrible events that happen to people, like supernatural. It's insane.
That sounds.
I love it.
Sweet, yeah.
Listen to Satan in the Wait. That's if you like that song, then you might like this album. But
I'm gonna check out the whole thing. I'm gonna check out the whole thing.
It's great.
Yeah. So my number 6 is pretty accessible. It's just Sonic Highways by Foo Fighters. They're a pretty straight hard rock band. Not a lot to say except that it's just like good hard rock. There's not really a lot of that anymore. There's not a lot of good rock bands.
It's not really good rock at all. Really.
No. So they're one of the few bands I think like they've been around for like 20 years, and you know they've sold out in the way that they've written commercial music, but I don't think it ever like waned in quality for me too much. Like it's still pretty like I feel like they're having fun and they're doing what they want to do. And this album is really cool, like the story behind it. So like Dave Grohl and the lead singer or whatever, you know, he went like around the country and interviewed a bunch of people who were in the music scene of these certain cities, right? When they had like a kind of explosion, like one was about like the punk explosion in Washington D.C. with people like Bad Brains and Henry Rollins and Minor Threat, that sort of thing. So he like interviews all these people. Like they had a documentary at HBO, which was really cool. So like you could watch how the album was actually written, like as it was being released. It was pretty sweet. So I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed the stories behind it. The album itself, it's basically just like a Foo Fighters record, but like if you look at it and you have that context of like the documentary, you can see like how the influences definitely played into like, okay, this is the energy we're trying to capture with this song. It's only 8 songs. One of them I don't like. The other 7 I think are some of the Foo Fighters' best songs throughout their whole career. It's really cool. They got a lot of cool guest appearances by like Gary Clark Jr. and like Ben Gibbard from Death Cab for Cutie. It's just really cool. You know, it's a solid album. So, again, it's not super unique. It's probably the least unique, most generic thing I have on this list.
Surprised by that.
But it's just some good, solid rock. And I love the Foo Fighters, so I think it's...
I think we listen... Okay, so you play music. Like, you know how to...
I do, yes.
And I just listen to music because I'm a freaking...
person?
Loser. But, that's just a terrible person.
Ignore me.
I think... you look into the bands more, like, see how they make the album. I rarely do that. I try to...
I don't really always, but this one in particular, like I said, because they had a documentary series, and it was on HBO, so it was, like, accessible. So I was like, well, yeah, I'll go watch that, because I love the band. So that's like, it was a given that I was going to watch that show. So it was cool to see that.
You don't look into more about bands and stuff? Like,
it really depends on what the band is and how much you like it. Or
just artists in general, like, and music.
It always depends on...
the
person and the album that I'm talking about. Usually I don't actually get too much into it. I like to kind of have my own interpretation of things.
That's what I try to do too.
Yeah.
If I look too deep into it, like it kind of like changes the meaning to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
try to separate myself, especially in music. I don't know why. I feel like what they say in the music, I should be able to get to know, like in certain instances. Like later on, I'll tell you. In this too, next album.
Yeah.
Next album, is this number 5?
6.
Number 6, Earl Sweatshirt, some rap songs.
Really?
I love that album.
I'm surprised it's so... I mean, I don't really know which album that is, but I'm surprised. I didn't think you liked it.
Oh, I didn't like him at first as much. So, Odd Future, okay. I remember seeing Odd Future back in the day, like 2010-9, and they came on the stage and wearing masks and like had like mascots out there. And I was like, this is something different. And I was liking their sound kind of. I like their early like production wise, their lyrics and their songs, actual songs. But Earl Sweatshirt, I just like his name because it's like Earl Sweatshirt. Like what the fuck? And anyways, he reminds me of one of my favorite rappers of all time, MF Doom.
Really?
He has a very similar flow. It's like very monotone, like drowsy tone, like But he's very poetic. Everything he says has a meaning to it. There's no, words that. No, he doesn't mince words. Okay, that's a say.
Yeah.
But in this album, there's no hooks, choruses. It's just some rap songs, and like you see the cover. It's a cover of him. It's just a blurry cover, and that's the album. This album is like 25 minutes, and it contains 15 songs. So every song is like 1 to 2 minutes long.
Wow.
And it's like probably one song that I'm not a big fan of, but everything it just flows so well, even though it feels like it's all like mixed up. And like a little bit behind this album, like the album before this he was called I Don't Like Shit, I Don't Go Outside. His album before it was very depressive. Like as his career is going on, it's more like depressing, less poppy, less commercial stuff that I was really enjoying. But this album is mostly about him going through depression and also his dad dying. He didn't really know his dad when he was younger, I guess, from this one I'm getting from like his other albums. And he like him like going through that and like being sad that he never got to see his dad know his dad. And like one of the songs, is it Playing Possum? It sounds like it's his mom giving a speech, like thank you to all my friends dealing with me, and it's like the other, like it's also his dad saying poetry because he was a poet, so like he kind of went into the same feel as him, like said what he's rapping. But it's just his bars, his lyrics, it's very like resonate with me. Like I just get into the zone. If I don't know what to put on, I put this on because it's short and like everything he says is just like so like important. Like he says one lyric, I don't know why it just hits home to me. He says, "Evidently it was rented, but it's mine." Like going through life, you rent a lot of stuff. Like I've been in apartments my whole life mostly, never really lived in a house, but I make this my own. Like it's mine, but it's not really though.
Yeah,
it's like just some stuff like that. He's like later on, he says, like he went on stage, but nobody cheered. Like he's not a star. And I was thinking, like, how Tyler, the creator, he just won a Grammy yesterday. And, like, his career is, like, more elevated. Yeah. And, like, they came from the same camp.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling like maybe he's, like, feeling a certain some type of way about that. Because they don't really do music together anymore. So maybe he's not feeling like he's doing as good as he should. And also, he had to cancel. I was saying like I don't know much about this, but I had to know more about this album because I was like addicted to it. I listened to it like every day because it's only 25 minutes. He canceled the tour because his depression. So like after this, like he didn't go on tour anymore. He was saying like I don't go outside. So like I was like one of the artists where I was like really concerned about him, like his well-being. Like this is. And this album shows through it, like through the songwriting, where there's no hooks, there's everything, like the music itself is lo-fi, it's like samples, like looped back and forth, crazy samples. Somewhere, like Nowhere to Go, that's one of my favorite songs. Like the beat on it, it's kind of like meditative, but still depressive at the same time, his lyrics. And it's just a tight album, and I could just listen to over and over again. And like the song Peanut, like it just has such a depressive lo-fi beat. Like you feel it. Like you doesn't have to say anything. You just listen to the beat. Like you know he's in a dark place. But the next song, Riot, the last song, it's more of an upbeat type beat. So I'm hoping like he gets past what he.
When did that album come out?
2018, like the late 2018. He released EP. I didn't really like it. It's kind of similar to this, but it was really short. But this like I look forward to his, like, more of his music. So, but coming from, like, beginning of the decade to where he is now, like, this is where I wanted him to get to. Like, he's kind of like the MF Doom of this era, but, like, more of the depressing one. Well, that's fun. But I'm hoping he gets out of this and, like, keeps on making good music, but more upbeat or, like, something different from
Just
this.
so you know he's alright.
Yeah, so he's alright, because I'm concerned about him. But he made a great album in this, and it was only 25 minutes, and it was unique, and I always enjoy rap albums with little to no hooks.
Yeah.
Most, like, only when the rapper can do it, because it's rare they can keep my attention while a hook, because sometimes you need it to be catchy and stuff.
Yeah.
But this definitely hit out of the park for me.
Wow, right, I'll have to check that one out. Okay, well, my number 5. This is kind of another pop album, I guess, but it's not really pop. They're kind of like indie pop, like alternative.
That's
pop. They're not. They're not really rock, you know. I wouldn't say that, but So I came across this band, High as a Kite, is what they're called. All one word, High as a Kite. They're from Norway. I don't remember.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, they're not really popular. I don't know where I heard them first, but I heard like their EP, which was In and Out of Weeks, and I was like, I really liked the songs on it. They were catchy. It was like good songwriting that I hear in like classic rock or in commercial pop music. And then a couple years later, they released my number 5 pick, which is called Silent Treatment, 2014. It's just so good. It's their first full-length LP, and it's almost like every song on there could be a single, like every song. And there's like rarely an album where I think that. Like, I can listen to every single song out of it, like, in a shuffle by itself, you know, and I'm fine. Like, they're just really catchy songs. They're kind of, like, in weird lyrics. Like, this band, I don't know what the fuck if you think about the lyrics, you're just gonna be like, this is stupid. It's like I think they're just high.
Do you think
As
so?
a kite.
You don't. There's no deeper meaning thing.
There might be some deeper meaning, but so much of it is just like, if there is meaning to it, I don't know what it is. I can read into some of it. Some of the songs sound kind of sad and serious. Like, I was actually talking about the self-destructive nature. Like, I don't know the singer's name, but she does, because I listened to a couple other albums of theirs, you know, and she does cover the topic of being kind of like a self-destructive force. Like, there's a song on here called I Am the Hand Grenade, which talks about saying, like, I am the terrorist is me. Like, she's saying, I interpret it as being like a self-destructive force or destructive to people around her. So I really like the lyrics, even though I don't understand all of them. I can get pieces of some of them. Like, the first song itself is super intimate, and it's clear what it's about, you know? And it's so different. Like, the opening song is like a piano ballad. And then the rest of the album is, like, really upbeat, for the most part, like, catchy songs. It's really hard to describe. I think you just kind of have to listen to it, you know? But super unique sound.
I like hard to describe. I like that.
Yeah. But like I said, it's just kind of like alternative pop. It's just really catchy songs. Like, all the songs really stand out to me as, like, I can listen to this on its own, and I'm happy. Really cool, loud-sounding drums. Like, they use drums that just sound really intense and loud and, like, reverby, you know, like they're in a room that's huge. Yeah, and that kind of like carries throughout the whole album for the most part. But at the same time, it's very intimate, the way that, you know, with the lyrics, you can tell that it was very personal to write it. Yeah, like, I don't know where I came across this band, but I'm so glad I did, because
Spotify.
Yeah, I don't know.
Recommended you.
She's got a great voice. So I definitely recommend it to just about anybody who likes
High as a Kite.
High as a Kite, all one word. And the album's called Silent Treatment.
I think they were high when they made that.
I think they were too.
I'm very interested in this, what you're saying right now. Like, all the bands. It sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
I want to listen to it. I need new music. So, number 5?
Number 5.
I love this album so much. Frank Ocean, Blonde. I love this album so much. I love it.
More than Channel Orange?
Way more than Channel Orange.
Blonde is pretty cool.
Pretty cool?
Yeah.
It's fucking great. Don't talk about it like that. Okay. So, I didn't really listen to Channel Orange. I mean, you heard the singles. I listened to it finally after I listened to this. And it just didn't do it for me. It just felt like it wasn't really him. The songs, most of the songs, it felt like it was more commercial appeal to me.
Yeah, that's true.
But Pyramids is good to me.
Blonde was very, it felt more personal.
Oh, you've heard it. Have you listened to it many times?
Not many times, a couple times.
For me, okay, so I heard this album, I listened to it, and I'm like, that's not what I expected. And I would talk to other people about it, and they didn't like it at all. It was like, it was boring. It was too quiet, and there's nothing much going on. And I'm like, it's great. You gotta listen to it's very subtle, and I enjoy that a lot. For me, like, I guess this is cliche to say, this is like a summer album. I'm not thinking like, oh, I gotta listen to this summer. It just reminds me of the summer. It feels nostalgic, because he's like, a lot of the songs he's gone through like stories of like in the past, because some of the songs he sounds like more like younger. I think like they changed his voice to sound younger, and like past relationships where it didn't work out, and like he's like, it's fine, like, you know, I didn't love you, but we can still be friends, and like, I'm sorry I couldn't love you back, and like very personal tales, and like little anecdotes, and like you've heard of Nights, the song of Nights?
I might have, I don't remember.
Yeah. It's like, the beat change in that is like great. I know you like the White Ferrari, right?
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah, White Ferrari, like, it's beautiful, like Sigmund Freud is like, it's a very personal album where he just delves deep into like what's going on in his life. And like, I feel like the years that passed by, like something like changed in him. Like, he went through experiences, and like let us know like more about him through the music. Like, because he's very like, he doesn't like out there a lot.
Yeah, he's was gonna say reclusive. I don't know if that's the word, but he's
well, like he's not really in the limelight, like public.
Yeah.
You know, I like that. Like you get to know him more
Yeah,
in
this mysterious
songs.
a little bit.
And then like solo, like the beautiful organs in that, and like it's like I don't know. It's like one of my favorite R&B albums. He was in Hurricane Katrina. Like I think he lost like his house, and like he only had his car, and he was living like in like a certain person's house, and like he reflects on that like in relationship with cars. And I like that like theme. I think people should give this another try. Like look into the lyrics more. You know, you just listen to them, and like it feels like I'm in the same room with him. He's just telling stories.
It's pretty minimalist. You're right.
Yeah,
but it is in that way it makes it more intimate.
Yeah, I mean, like
Andre 2000's on one of the songs.
Oh yeah, that's why. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah. He has a great verse in it. He's talking about like ghostwriting. Like, did I work too hard? Like at the end, like no, you didn't. Like, oh man,
I don't know what song it was, but I remember him being on there. I was like, that's fucking weird.
Yeah,
Outkast hasn't done an album since like Idlewild, right? He hasn't been.
Thank you for reminding me. He's an asshole. He was on a couple verses. He was on a Tribe Called Quest album from the same year on this. He does other stuff, but he never makes the album. Like one of the best rappers of all time, he refuses to make it. I mean, it makes me want it so bad, but it's never gonna happen. I don't think.
Number 4, for me, is I did mention this band earlier. They were my number 20 entry. Is Manchester Orchestra. So they're one of my favorite bands. Just again, kind of like brand new, very like emotionally poignant. They talk about a lot of like tough topics. You can kind of feel sadness in their lyrics, and especially on this album, the most I felt like it was the strongest. It's called A Black Mile to the Surface, and it was released 2017. This one is a concept album. And it's not in the way that it's like it's not like rock opera or anything. It's not about a dude trying to venture into space. It's about a town in like South Dakota where a lot of normal people have like a hard time in the winter. And it centers around that.
Wow.
It's weird. Like, and it covers
very, like, specific to.
Yeah, I don't know how because like even one of the songs is called like Lead, South Dakota, and I looked it up and that's like a real place. So I think, like, and then, like, I kind of looked into the story behind the writing of the album, and he was just, like, trying to find a place that looked like it would be cold and hard.
Really?
And that he picked that place as, like, the setting of the album.
That's unique.
It is. And it covers a lot of different topics, there's a lot of different characters that kind of get bounced around in there. One is, like, the father of a newborn, which I think was just about him, because he had, like, a newborn around the time that it was written. One is, like, a mass shooter who shoots a bunch of people at a school, I think, and he's getting like arrested or something from his point of view. One is like a miner, like an actual miner who's kind of like like his relationship with his wife is kind of failing, and his father is dying.
And this is all happening in
this one town, sort of thing. And then, but it's not really like a hard story where it follows like
it's not necessary.
It's more just like it's thematically tied. It's kind of like the way we all struggle and that feeling of like, seasonal depression and that sort of thing, and how it kind of takes a hold of everybody for a couple months. It's just, you really feel it. And the whole album flows super, like I wish more people made albums this way, where like the whole thing is kind of like one long song.
Yeah, I enjoy that a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's definitely has that feel, because like back to back to back, it's like you don't really hear cuts in between songs. It's like every song bleeds into the next one. And there's like 3 tracks like on the album. I think it's like The Grocery, The Alien, and The Sunshine. And I can't remember. All the songs are titled with a "the" for the most part too, except for Lead, South Dakota, whatever.
You messed it up.
But yeah, so like 3 of the songs, they sound like they're the same song. Like it sounds like it's like a 15-minute song.
But it's separated, so.
Yeah. But it's so great. Like I haven't heard like an album like that in a while. So that's my number 4. Definitely. What?
That was number 4?
Number 4.
Alright.
What, did you miss another one?
No, I didn't miss another one. You're missing one in your list so far.
No, I said Silent Treatment. That was High as a Kite.
No,
that was
I'm thinking about an album that I'm going to have that you should have too.
Oh, I have 3. I have 4 more. 3 more.
Alright. My turn?
Yeah.
You're familiar with this one. Brockhampton's Saturation. The trilogy. I'm cheating.
Oh, you're cheating, bro!
Look, okay.
You can't just loop them all into one thing.
It's a trilogy.
Actually, I did that with the Aftermath. It was a double album.
Exactly.
So.
They all came out 1 year. They released 3 great albums in 1 year, in a couple of months, like from June to December. And they're all great. I think the first one's the best one I showed you. Okay, I've been waiting for a hip-hop group like this since Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
Odd Future, I was hoping they're going to be like that, but most of the M members sucked.
Yeah.
Except for 2. But this is the most fun and most like personal and so much variety in the group, and I've heard in a long time.
Yeah.
Like the first song, Heat. It's like an industrial beat, like they're, very confrontational. And I'm thinking the rest of the album's gonna be like this. I didn't really like this at first. I'm like, because I thought it was just one person. I had no idea what it was about. I just heard good things about it. So I'm like, what is this? But then you can't go to Gold. It's like more like, laid back, like more showing off beat, braggadocious. And then you get to Star. I love Star. What do you think about Star?
I don't know if I know it. I don't know if because like
it's like when they're naming off of like celebrities, like.
I only listened to it like twice, and like I haven't like I need to listen to it more.
Okay.
I don't know the names. I kind of like put it on like in the background too, like while I was playing video games, so I wasn't like look at the names of songs as they came up. So
I got you.
Yeah,
they're just naming off like celebrities. Like he says,
is it the one with Shawn Mendes? Is that one, or is that something else?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just funny, and it's like it sounds corny, like they're just naming off. Like gimmicky, but it just works. Like the beats, like this is one of the beats I just had to bob my head like dun 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 dun, and they just make the most catchiest beats.
Yeah,
and
the production is
hooks,
super good.
Yeah, it's very catchy. Man, like they're like the hooks. It's like when you listen to it, like what are you even talking about? But it's so catchy, like how they formulate it, and like I said before, like. I don't really like voice changes, but like in this, like it just works. Like in the song, "Fake," like the whole entire song is with their vocals pitched up, and for the longest, I thought it was just one person. It's the whole entire band singing, and you can like tell who is who just by how they rap and like what they rap about. And it's just so much chemistry. Like if you can feel that they're friends. Like
yeah, I definitely did get that. Yeah.
Like how they did it. They just did it like in like a month or two. Just they got their own house and they just did it together. And you can feel it. Like it's just raw emotion, raw passion. Like it's not really like a cohesive album like any of them.
Yeah, but that's okay. I think it works really well.
Because every song, like you were saying before. Like every song can be a single, and like they release most of these songs as a single. Like after one is great.
Yeah.
Like the next, I'm not gonna go like that deep into like the other albums. But Boogie, like that's a unique beat. Like Zipper, great, and they have like ballads too. Like everyone has a ballad at the end. The guy called Beer Face, and like it's like a little like signature of them for this trilogy, but. I suggest anybody that wants to like hear like something new, hip hop.
It was definitely
it's something different, like group. Yeah, everybody has like their own place. Like they don't all sound the same. You definitely listen to Brockhampton, and actually, my younger niece, like she actually listened to him. And I'm like, what? I can't believe this because I started listening to him before like anybody else knew about him. It's like I'm cool, but. But I couldn't believe it. Like
I can.
They
seem accessible.
Yeah, they do. They do seem accessible too. But I just can't believe that I like something like
yeah.
And I feel like they deserve it. Like the song, what's it called? Bump. Like it's like it's a really big banger. Like at 1 second, and then it's like they playing like a guitar like very mellow at the 1 second. It's just. They're really experimenting with it, but still being like pop, like orientated and like being catchy. Yeah. It's like good
They're definitely finding a fine line between being experimental and accessible.
Yeah. That I really enjoy. And they released 3 albums in 3 years. I mean, 5 albums in 3 years.
That's pretty crazy too.
Yeah. I mean, their last 2 albums is not as good as the trilogy. I advise anybody that likes hip hop and looking for something new to listen to that. Like the song "Hottie" on the 3rd one. It's like a cute pop song. It's like the cutest thing ever, and it just makes me smile. Like, I can't believe they're singing about this, and then like they go from that to like industrial hip hop to like trying to brag, and like some songs. I mean, most of the songs they're talking about like all struggling, like with their like personal lives. Like, am I good enough? Like, you know, am I good enough to be in this position? You know, like personal stuff. So I think like younger people would relate to this a lot. So Rockhampton, the best boy band ever.
I agree. It's not a lot of competition there.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. All right. Number 3. I feel like this one is going to be on your list too.
It is
in the top. You already know what it is.
Okay.
It's a Pimp Butterfly.
Yeah.
I mean, this was a game changer. There hasn't really been like a landmark album like this in so long. Where like I feel like this album is gonna be culturally impactful for years to come. So I'm not like I like rap and hip hop, but not to the degree that most people seem to, and definitely not to the degree that you do. So it's crazy that something would draw me to this. But again,
you told me it's your favorite, right?
Oh, my favorite all the time. I love like concept albums. This is clearly there's like
it's a strict concept.
Yes, and it's very like it's loose in the sense that there's like it's like a stream of consciousness. There's a whole lot going on. You can hear all the different like voices, and I can't believe that it's cohesive. But it is.
It's so cohesive. Like
it's insane that like something so like because even songs there'll be like a song where he changes it like halfway through like what it sounds like. You know, like I'm trying to think of one that's the one's like I've been A1 since day one. That one like that's like 3 different songs in one, right? Like that's just so crazy and. Like I don't really hear like rap albums like this where there's just like there's all this jazz instrumentation, you know, like I hear pianos and a bass and I just loved it. Like there's not a lot of this I should say anymore. You know?
You should listen to The Roots.
I've heard of them.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, but this from to this level and exactly what you like.
Yeah.
The concept. Yeah, it's
there's so much, and it's so emotional. Just the arc of him, like going through all this self-doubt, you know, and struggling with like trying to represent like a community, trying to represent like, and trying to find what he means to himself, to other people, trying to be confident in that, and like the way he finally kind of like does it by the end of the album is just so beautiful. Like,
it is. It's like it's a personal album, but it's still like he's talking for like the black community. Like,
yeah, he really is.
Like at first, I thought he was just like talking like not really from himself. But he is.
He is, yeah.
Like you, like the song "You." He's He's talking to the mirror to himself, like blaming himself for letting his like.
And it goes hard.
Friend, yeah. He's like he's not just rapping regularly. He's like
talking about
like
killing
he's drunk.
himself.
At the end, he's yelling at himself and like blaming himself for leaving like his hood, like his Compton.
Yeah.
And like you shouldn't feel that way, but he feels that way because people are dying back there.
Yeah.
I think like one of his friends actually died when he was on tour promoting.
Is that what that like part of You is about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that happened. And, like he wrote about that. And like at first, like everything makes sense. Like Wesley's theory, you know, Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
He went to jail for tax evasion. Like he's talking about like Uncle Sam. Like, oh yeah. Buy that car, like buy that jewelry, we'll get it back. Like you're just a slave to that.
Yeah.
And like he, you know, when he gets famous, he gets like probably like you know into that life, and then like institutionalized like his friends like come like you can't act right. And it's just like little stories of what's going on, and like it just relates back to like him trying to find himself in his like current state because. Out of nowhere, he's like a sensation. Yeah,
he definitely had like a huge rise to fame, and then like how do you follow that up? And he follows up with like one of the best albums of all time.
Yeah, one of the best, definitely best conceptual hip hop album probably of all time.
Yeah.
I've listened to like.
You've listened to quite a few. Yeah.
You want to talk about Black Hair the Berry?
Black Hair the Berry is probably one of my favorite songs on that album. It's just I love the aggression. Like I want to kick somebody's ass when I hear that song.
Yeah.
I want to fucking punch somebody.
Yes.
Like I love songs that are like that. And again, like.
And the whole album's not like that. It's like very complex.
It's like the whole album is like it's this like mixed bag of
fusion
things.
of sounds, like jazz, like you were saying. Like,
yeah, some songs are really like kind of light and laid back and more personal. Like I think "Mama" is the one it's called.
He comes back home.
Yeah,
trying to like see what should I do. Like
yeah.
Mama knows best. The same.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like it's such a variety, and then it gets like Black Hair the Berry is like this big climactic. Like you could hear a riot happening in that song, and Mortal Man is such an experimental song. I mean,
yeah, he's talking to Tupac. It's
just such
I feel like it was a spoiler if somebody didn't say it. Like,
yeah,
I was so surprised because it sounds so natural.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
It feels like he's there and he's coming back from the grave. They did it so well, and he strings along the poem.
Yeah,
he extends after each song.
Yeah,
and it like correlates to the song he's talking about, like every end of it, and it goes all the way to the end. And he's reading to him.
Yeah,
I was like, what?
what a beautiful album.
I
don't love hip hop as much as most people, like I said. So for me to be like this invested in like a rap album or anything, like I said, it shouldn't work. Like there's nothing about it that should work. It's got all these producers, all these guest appearances. Like it has fucking Snoop Dogg for like 4 lines, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like every guest appearance feels right.
But it does.
Commons in the song. Just
Rhapsody. There's all
Rhapsody has a great
guest
verse.
appearances. It's just like I love it. Like it's definitely my favorite. Yeah, my favorite hip hop album, definitely of all time.
It's not mine, but the reason why
I know it's not yours, but I mean I don't listen to hip hop as much as you do. So
I think this is the best probably concept album because. What you explained is so complex and
and you know what? I listen to this thing maybe once or twice every couple months, right? I hear something new in it every time. Like there's one line that just and every line I feel like has this resonance. If you just pick apart one line, you can do that and it has this meaning.
And it's an hour and 19 minutes.
It's so long. It's so.
But it doesn't feel like that because it strings along so well. Yeah. Because like I was saying with the poem, something else coming, you gotta pay attention to what's.
Yeah.
And you try to guess what's For Sale. For Sale is this sweet song for you. That's the devil talking to me.
Yeah.
And it's I didn't realize that at first. I'm like, wow, this is so good. How the devil's talking to him. The devil's gonna appear himself to be good and innocent. And he does that so well.
Yeah.
And remember when I came out?
Yeah, I actually like the single version better than the album version. But
I like the album version way better.
It's interesting. I like the end part.
Yeah, that's why I like it. I like the live.
It's very experimental.
Yeah.
It's weird, but it works. I like both versions a lot, but.
Yeah, I wasn't really liking the eye because it was different from what he was going for. Like how I said before, it was different.
Yeah.
But when in the context of the album, it's fucking great.
Oh, it's
cause I love myself. He's finally getting over it.
And it's the polar opposite of you, which was hatred of himself. You know, so it's you can go on for hours about how great this album is. Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, it's on my list too. I'm not gonna talk about it. At the end, he's it's naturally it's a fight in the crowd. Yeah, I think it was so well done. It's different, and I think it's I wish more music was taking risks like that. I think that's why I didn't really like Damn. It takes a lot of. Oh, I hate Damn because it's such a. I like Damn, but I hate it. It's too safe. To me, it feels safe, and he just did this monumental album, and then he goes to that, and I'm like, wow. I can't wait to see what he does next. But I was pretty disappointed with Damn. I mean, it's hard to follow up, though. Man, yeah, it's if he would have retired right now, I'm I understand, because you can't really beat this. No, I don't know if he can. Yeah, These Walls, you know the story behind These Walls, do you... I don't know if I know the whole story now. These Walls, I looked into it, he's talking about at the very end, like somebody killed his
Oh
friend.
yeah, no, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody killed his friend, and he's in prison now. So he's saying like with his fame, his like his popularity, he can get his girl and and have sex with her.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, I can use my power. And like right after that, like that's like the lowest he goes, like one of the lowest he goes. Like it's like that's right before you. So I'm like, wow, like that's evil. That's
it's
terrible, man. Like
Yeah.
when I think of Kendrick Lamar, like I think he's like a good guy. Like
Yeah.
like in like the Good Kid, Mad City, like he's like in a bad environment.
Yeah, which is also a good. I almost made my honorable mentions, but it's like again, I just said so many that
I was thinking about putting both of them because I made a movie around that. A really shitty
I remember that.
So see, I made a short film. That's how much I love that album, and I slept on that before because I thought it was just like just a commercial hip hop album, but it had a lot to say. It was a comedy story, and I like that. And that's like if it was any other album, that'd probably be that, but it followed this, and it was kind of. I mean, it was before this.
Yeah,
and it's kind of hard. It's like a natural progression. Like he's talking about coming of age in his previous album. Yeah. Now he's talking about like being famous. And wow.
Yeah. Wow is the correct word. It's honestly like I said, I just enough can't be said about it. I've come across some different feeling, some line that sticks out to me every time I hear it. So yeah. It would be number one, but honestly, I have two that are also just like defining for me. Mm-hmm. So
it'd probably be number one if I'm not that big a fan of like funk. It has like a more of a.
It has a lot of that influence. Yeah, I love that.
I'm like the West Coast. I wasn't that big a fan of the West Coast. I'm more like East Coast, like hip hop.
Yeah.
So that's kind of drives me down for me just a little bit, where I can't just listen to it anytime. And like the songs, Alright, and like this.
Alright is pretty weak.
Yeah, I used to joke when I heard it like in McDonald's when I was listening, like this song is alright. I just sing it all the time. But in the context of the album, it is better.
Yeah, I hated it when I heard it on the radio. Mm-hmm. And then when I listened to the album, I was like, this ain't bad.
Yeah, it's alright.
Because it works when it's weird how that it works.
So that kind of drives me down just a little bit, where it's not every song that I'm just absolutely loving. Like songs like How Much Dog Costs, Hood Politics.
Yeah.
Like You, like I'm just like this is some of the best hip hop I've ever heard. Like songs.
Yeah.
But like, Alright and what's the other song? King Kunta.
I love that one though.
I like that song more. Yeah. But like You Ain't Gotta Lie, Mama. Like You Ain't Gotta Lie. Like that song's good, but it's not.
Yeah,
it's not close to
weakest
other songs.
Yeah.
So that's probably why it's not number one, but probably it could be like the best hip hop album of all time. It's hard to debate that.
Yeah, but it's.
I don't be mad if you said that.
I probably don't listen to enough of it to say, but it's probably definitely my favorite.
I enjoy other ones more, but in terms of like concept, it's probably the best.
Yeah,
it's hard to beat it. Wait, that was my number 3.
That's your number 3? Well, we kind of covered.
Wait, that was my number 1. That was number 2. I'm sorry, number 2.
Okay, so that was my number 3. What's your number 3?
My number 3 was Brockhampton. Oh no, no. Okay, number 3. I'm sorry, I almost skipped them. Number 3.
You're a fucking shit show, man.
Man,
get your shit together. What's wrong with your ass? I don't
know. It hurts. This doesn't hurt your ass?
This?
The chair.
This is a really comfy chair.
This is hurting my ass, man.
What's wrong with your fucking chair?
I got problems, man. Okay? When I sit too long, my ass starts to hurt. Anyways.
What's your number 3?
Let's focus. Oh. That's a preview. My number 3, okay. Clipping.
That's the band?
Clipping. Yes, clipping. Like audio clipping?
I know the concept, yes.
Some people don't know. I know you know. But clipping. Never heard of them, huh? Oh, man. So, this is another experimental hip-hop group that came out this decade. This is their first studio album. It has 2 producers, I don't know their names. But there's one MC, David Diggs. He's a actor, and he was also in Hamilton, the play.
Okay.
I thought you might know that.
I don't. Hamilton's nothing I really checked out. So.
But he was in a couple stuff, but I know him from clipping. He's a great rapper. He does the fast rapping. Like he has great flow. You know, he kind of sounds like Tiger. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah.
He sounds like him, but he sounds way better than him. He raps way better than him. I'm just trying to get like what he sounds like.
Yeah.
But oh man, what he mostly does in clipping, he tells like stories, like hood stories and just stories in life where everything goes to shit. And it's not what you think it's gonna be. Like the first song, Body and Blood. It's about this girl, this promiscuous girl that gets guys to come to their house and kills them, slaughters them, takes their body parts.
God.
Yeah. And all his songs is very detailed, and I love it. I love songs like that because in hip hop they glamour fantasize about oh, I'm the best, I kill this guy, I do whatever I want.
Yeah.
It's very
glorifying
violence and but when you really think about it, what they're saying is very horrifying.
Yeah.
But they put this in this perspective, oh, this is horrifying, what you're saying is terrible. Living in the hood, it's bad. It's not all fun and games.
Kind of like counterculture stuff like that, where it's it's not it doesn't glorify the the life that sometimes somebody else leads that is leading the culture.
Yeah. The song "Summertime," I'm gonna die in the summertime. It's very catchy too. The hooks and it's more. It has a catchier beats. It's more pop, not pop, but it sounds more commercialized. But they use a lot of clipping, actual clipping and distortion in the songs. And also, there's a song called "Get Up." It's an alarm clock throughout the whole entire song. The most annoying sound in the world, and they make it sound good. I'm not even joking. And the song before that, he's whispering. It's called "Dream." It's I believe it's the dreams of a guy, he's going through his life and he's doing good, but he wakes up and the alarm and it's back to reality. And the singing in it, I don't know who the singer is, but it's very beautiful, and and they start to meld the alarm sound to just a regular beat, and it's done so great. And I can't believe they actually did make it sound good. In the beginning, it's just the alarm, dun, 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 and it eventually molds it to an actual beat, and it's really good. And like I said, his storytelling is some of the best storytelling I ever heard in hip hop, and I've listened to a lot of storytelling.
Yeah, you have. My number 2 was almost number 1, but I like one a little bit more than this one. But my favorite person in the whole wide world, St. Vincent.
Yeah.
So
Mass
Seduction, her newest album. I think it's her best. I think she honestly keeps outdoing herself. I don't know how. She always started off as kind of experimental. She still sounds weird to me. You know what I mean? She still sounds weird and new, but her songs are so accessible on this new album. There's so many songs that are just catchy. They're pop melodies, but they're done St. Vincent's way, which is has a really unique style of guitar. I can pick out her guitar anywhere. She even produced an album for this band, Slater Kinney, that I could just tell this is a St. Vincent thing. She's got a brand. It's so consistent.
Shut up, Marshall.
Shut up, Marshall. Why are you always interrupting, Marshall? What the fuck you want? I'm trying to talk about my girlfriend, St. Vincent.
So that's your waifu?
This is my waifu.
That's your waifu.
She's definitely my waifu. She's so
that album cover, don't you?
Yeah.
That's why it's number 2.
It's from start to finish. It's just one of those albums. I don't think there's any weak songs on it for me. There's maybe one or two. I don't like Young Lover as much as I or Fear the Future as much as I like the whole rest of the album. But even then, I don't think of them as weak songs. I love the accessibility of Los Angeles. It's so I don't know. I love it. It's just so intense to me. It's musically. It's it puts you in a mood. It puts you in a place, and it's it's just so catchy. You want to sing along to it, you know. Like it's like a radio hit that I don't know how she's not like the queen of the world right now.
Yeah, I don't get that either. She sounds like she could be on the radio.
She could be, but she's still kind of under the radar. So it's amazing to me, you know.
She won a Grammy though, right?
She did win a Grammy for Best Alternative Act, I think. Deservingly so. Yeah. But songs are poignant and emotional. They cover dark topics. Like for this album, I actually listened to an interview of hers, and she like didn't do sex, didn't do drugs, anything
Really?
while she was doing this album. She was like super sober and clean. And it's kind of funny because there's like a song.
Terrible.
This song, like this is the first song. The second song of the album is called "Pills." It's all about like doing drugs. So it's like I don't know what the inspiration was for that. Then, you know, maybe if it was.
Maybe you should do that.
Pills?
No, I'm saying don't. No, I'm just joking, man.
I already do that thing. But yeah, it was so like emotional to me too. Like there's so much heartbreak. Like the song "New York" and "Happy Birthday, Johnny" like actually make me cry. Like I can't listen to them anymore.
Really?
Can't listen to them.
Why?
That
Just the way it sounds.
what the time it came out reminds me of things.
Oh, okay.
But it also is just so emotional. Like it's so like personal, and she gets really personal on this album. Like "Happy Birthday, Johnny" is about like her severing ties with this really good friend of hers. That she's like, there's been a character Johnny, and actually the past couple albums she had is like "Marry Me, Johnny" is on I think the album "Marry Me," and then which would make sense, right? And then her self-titled album "St. Vincent," there was a song called "Prince Johnny." Same character, same person. It's like a real friend of hers who's kind of like a vagabond, loose cannon character. Yeah,
I like that word.
And then this song, "Happy Birthday, Johnny," like they've severed ties, and it's so heartbreaking to me. Like it hits home. It hits home really, really hard with me. So I can't listen to it.
Tear up right now. That's a good. I don't know. You told me to listen to it. I enjoyed it. I didn't want to put it on my list because you already knew that you were gonna have it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. She's definitely one of my favorite artists from the past, decade to come out. Like I can't remember like where I heard her first, but I was just like, what is this? I've never heard anything by this, like anything like this before. The first song I think I heard was "Birth in Reverse" off her self-titled, and then, ever since I've just been in love with her. Obviously, she's like the modern David Bowie to me. She's unique. She's got a brand, a style, very distinct. She's like visually talented. She like makes her whole thing look amazing. So yeah, this is her at her best, and I can't wait to see what she does next. Honestly, so that's my number 2.
Wait, so it's my number 1 now? Oh, number 2.
No, you're number 2.
Well, my number 2 is Kendrick Lamar.
We already talked about it a little bit.
Just a little bit. It just feels like it's one of the most important albums I've ever seen. Like the time it came out, I feel like it needed. Like it was needed.
Oh yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the standard now for a album like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a landmark album, and I think it's the album to beat right now in terms of things that are cultural landmarks, things that stand out, stand the test of time. That's the one to beat right now. Yeah.
I think so too. But you can go ahead with the second one. Number 2.
That was my number 2.
Oh, number 1. I'm sorry. I just said number 2. Let me go with number 1 because I'm gonna talk.
No, I'll do my number 1.
I'm gonna talk a long time about this.
Is that all you have to say about Super Butterfly? Oh,
we already talked about it.
We did talk.
I don't know what else to say. It speaks for itself.
But I just thought if there's anything else you didn't mention yet, before I do my number 1, talk your ear off for another 20 minutes.
He would have been my artist of the decade if he.
I am kind of surprised it's not your number 1. I'll say that.
No, you shouldn't be surprised. You know.
Well, you already.
What haven't I said yet? Don't say it yet.
But I thought, okay, I wonder which one it is then.
It's probably the.
I think I know the artist, but I don't know the album.
Yeah, it's complicated. I feel like that's the most important album, but it's not. Just because it's the most important and probably the best album
doesn't mean it's your favorite.
Yeah,
fair enough.
This is a personal list. If I was making a list, probably for like a website or something, they're probably number 1. But
yeah,
I don't care about that.
Yeah, no, that's why it's not my number one either, because it's not as personally. All right,
it probably is the best album, but
yeah, like globally, yeah. All right,
you go on number one.
I'm ready. I'm ready. You ready?
Yeah.
You ready to drop this bomb?
I'm on. Yeah.
Okay, so my number one came out 2010. So a little pretext to this: this woman who wrote this album was working on a musical for a couple of years, and she kind of didn't really know what to do with it at the time. She did a couple of small productions of it, and she actually started writing this in like 2006. She finally put out a recording album of it in 2010. It's called Hadestown. That is now a original Broadway play. I actually saw the Broadway play.
You did?
Yeah, it came it came out in.
Wait, did I listen to this?
I don't know if you did. I probably talked your ear off about it.
Yeah, I think
I tell everybody about it.
it's very.
It's a folk musical, so it's like a folk opera. So the album that came out in 2010, and had like Justin Vernon from Bon Iver playing the part of Orpheus. It tells the Greek myth of Orpheus and Eurydice in a setting that's more like a post-apocalyptic setting where like the seasons are all wrong and they kind of like it's more like a Great Depression era than it is like ancient Greece, but it retells the myth, which is essentially a tragedy of two lovers who one gets stuck in the underworld and Orpheus goes to rescue her, bring her back, and Hades, the king of the underworld's like, nah, you can't do that. And then he's like, oh, fine, whatever. But only on one condition, if you don't turn around to look behind to see if she's there. Because he knew that she would be too frail and wouldn't be trusting enough. Because the road there is kind of like mysterious and
This
dark.
is the album we're talking about, right?
This is the album, Hadestown. But it's also the musical. I saw the musical, which kind of like fleshes out what the album was a little bit.
So was that planned beforehand?
The musical?
Yeah,
it was written as a musical, but she didn't know if it was gonna make it, I guess, big. So she did it as an album in 2010, released it that way as a concept album. And then as the years went on, it actually did have a couple small scale productions in Vermont and Massachusetts, I can't remember. Smaller theater productions, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and now it's on Broadway. I am so happy that it became that.
It deserves it.
It totally does. The music is so great. And while I love the album as is, it was great to also hear there's more songs, obviously, because it's only a 50-minute album. A musical is usually 3 hours, right? So they added a lot more songs and fleshed out the story a lot more. Some songs I like more than others, but a lot of them were really, really cool. And seeing it live, in front of me was it was a dream come true. So, but it all started when I heard this album, and I just heard it I heard it actually 5 years after it came out. I was in art class, and my teacher was playing, I think, Bon Iver radio on Spotify, and it was in the background. And I just heard this song because, he's on the song. And it was Wedding Song, which is the first song on the album. And I was like, what is this? It just drew me in right away. I checked it out, and I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I like. It's rootsy. Mm-hmm. It's a concept album. There's no way I wasn't gonna like this album. There was nothing about it that was ever this is not for you, So yeah, I naturally fell in love with it. It's my favorite album of all time. Not just this decade. Of all time. I've never of all the albums that have stuck with me, this one so far, I don't think I have anything that I have as much personal investment in as this one. So, it's my number one of the decade and number one of all time.
Wow.
I don't think you'd like it at all. I might have suggested it to you because I loved it, and I was telling everyone I knew about it.
Folk music, it's hard for me to get into.
Yeah, I know, it's not your thing.
Yeah.
So I don't think you would like it. That's why I might have suggested it to you, but I didn't think you'd actually like it. It's not a lot of characters, but it helps if you have the pretext of what the myth is about when you listen to the album. But even if you don't, I didn't realize, because I like Greek mythology, but I'm not as familiar with that myth as I am with others, right? Mm. So going into that, I kind of was just listening to the album for the first time and just listening to it as an album. And even then, just the lyrics caught my eye because it's very thematic. It uses terms of like gambling games, like poker, and a deck of cards and chips, like poker chips. It kind of like refers to dice, that sort of thing. It refers to that throughout the whole album. There's like themes of like duality of like, dark and light, and the underworld, and summer, winter. Like, it's just the whole album is just very lyrically strong. I think you'd hate it.
You're gonna hate it? Okay.
Well, not hate it. I don't think you'd like it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't.
I wouldn't feel as strongly as you.
Oh, you would never feel as strong as me.
Yeah.
No one will. No one will love this album more than me.
Okay.
You can try.
I'm pretty sure there's always somebody that loves it.
There's no one in this world that loves Hadestown more than me. If they do, I'll fucking kill them because.
So you'll be number
so
one
I'll be
again?
number one.
I'm gonna listen to this album and know more about it, way more about it, so you can kill me. Try to kill me. I'm gonna be a bigger fan of this now.
No, you won't. And that's okay, but that's kind of like why I thought this list was such a good idea, because we get exposure to different stuff we never heard before.
Yeah, because my number one is complete opposite.
Oh, I know it is.
Yeah.
I know it's gonna be, and but yeah, that's why. So this is my number one. It was so impactful to me. It's my favorite album of all time. Came out in 2010, and so she hasn't really put out too many albums since. But it was great to see the musical. It was so great. It's probably the best day I had this year. I did it right before I left New York. It was like, it came out perfect time for me to go see it before I left.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it so much. So engaging, and it made me feel things. It made me feel like actually like connected to a piece of work that I was seeing. So, yeah, that's my number one.
Hadestown.
I didn't like it at all.
Yeah, did you like it?
I didn't even like it.
Would you recommend it to other people?
No, like, it's terrible.
Oh, okay. I can't really follow that because
Your number one didn't leave such a mark on you.
no, not at all. Not at all. Like, I don't listen to him really. I listen to him. It's just it's a little band called Death Grips.
Really? Is your number one?
Number freaking one.
Which one?
Which one?
Ex-Military? When did that come out?
So, the thing is, what number one is.
Did that come out in 2009?
No, it came out 2011. I'm gonna name almost every album in their discography as number one.
No, you can't. No, God, this is the most fucking. You've broken the rules so many times.
Okay.
Do you not understand what a top 10 means?
Top 10. Okay, I'm picking an artist. Okay.
I could do it with St. Vincent, but I didn't. Okay, I picked Mass Seduction. She's had like an album every 2 years.
Every 2 years?
She had Mass Seduction. She had St. Vincent, and then another one, Strange Mercy, came out this decade. She had two that came out the decade before, so I couldn't include them.
Exactly. 3
this decade.
Let me tell you about Death Grips. Okay?
They were all honorable mentions at one point.
Okay, I'm not gonna name everyone. Okay, my favorite one is Bottomless Pit. Okay?
Really?
Yeah.
That's like which one is that? Is that the one with like the album cover?
Good.
It's like
the balloon.
Yeah.
I'm just naming one that I feel like has the best songs all throughout. The song that I don't dislike, I'm kind of just naming the group as the album of the year. Artist of the decade. Okay. Alright.
Bullshit.
We're gonna have to do this little history lesson in Jeremy's
I
life.
fucking hate you, dude.
Beginning in 2010. I remember this. I started looking for different music because mostly I listen to hip hop. I listen to the modern stuff, and I was just so tired of it. It's the same bullshit. So I started looking at lists like, oh, I found out who LP was, one of my favorites. MF Doom from this list, like the best albums of the 2000s decade. So I started going back and I started listening to more experimental hip hop, and once I, like a couple years from there, like 4 or 5 years, I think I discovered them in 2014. I was starting to hear about this band called Death Grips, or like, they're the most insane hip hop experimental
They're
group.
definitely insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? They caught my ear too. First time I heard them, I was just like, I've never heard anything fucking like this.
Yes, and that's when I was like, okay, I'll listen to them. So I listened to the Money Store. Now, I guess I'll put the Money Store as number one. Okay?
Okay.
Because that is their defining record.
Yeah, it is.
Other than Ex-Military, which I think is just as great.
It's pretty good.
So I listened to it and Get Got came on. I listened to it on YouTube. I remember the exact moment, and I was like, and it was like a Middle Eastern sounding beat with like glitchy, electronic sounding. Like I was like, what is this? And I liked it immediately. It's rare like my favorite artist I like immediately because it's something new, but I liked it immediately. And almost every song on there is a fucking banger, crazy. Never heard anything close to this. And this guy is yelling his brains out, saying some crazy shit. I don't know how the
fuck he just like sustains himself in a concert. Like he's fucking.
Let me tell you about that. So back in 2017, I go to a Def Grips concert. I don't like concerts, okay? I've gone to 2 concerts that I actually enjoyed really. It was one of the Jewels and Def Grips. I went there by myself like a fucking loser. And because I don't know anybody other than you.
I've done that before. So
okay.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But I probably would have invited you. But
yeah.
But the thing is, with Def Grips, they create this atmosphere where it's a mosh pit. Yes.
Yeah.
I would never before that, I would think that I was actually in the mosh pit. Just imagine me. Like, I'm the softest.
You don't have like any like.
Huh?
You have like no aggression in
None.
you. I don't like.
None.
You're like the chillest person I know.
Yes, but that's the only band I feel like it just comes out of me. It does. Like
I'm trying to imagine you punching somebody.
I was in it, and I got a busted lip, and it felt great. Let me tell you about this concert. Let me tell you about MC Ride. He is my favorite lyricist of this decade. And you might think he's not talking about anything, but his lyrics, there's something to it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But, I mean, some songs where they just fucking around. But, let me just talk about that later. Let me talk about the concert. They just come out on the stage, they don't say anything to the crowd, and just start going nonstop the whole entire concert. They're doing like 20, 25 songs. They don't stop. I was like, it's like this. Is this a real person? That's why I feel like
seems like he's just like unbelievably like durable. Like he's superhuman.
And also the drummer Zach Hill, he's going the whole time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The producer keyboard is Andy Warren. He does most production. Production is out of this world. Okay, but I was like, I can't believe this. Like, I think somebody can do something like that and make me feel a certain way about music like this. Because I was looking for something new in hip-hop because it became stale.
Yeah.
And since they came out, nothing even close has come out where it's the same type of energy, same type of creativity. Like attention to detail, even though they seem like they're having fun. Like they're just doing it for the art. Like I don't know anything about this guy, and I've been listening to this for years.
Yeah.
They've been out since 2010. I think he only has like one. Well, I'm talking about the main MC Ride.
Yeah.
I think he has like 1 or 2 interviews, and he just barely says nothing in it.
Yeah.
And that taught me like the looseness of them. They release albums. They just release albums without any for talent, like before it became popular, and they just release it on their website for free. Like they don't care about the money. They're just doing it because they need to.
Yeah, yeah.
And I feel like the same way when I do art. I feel like I need to do it.
Yeah.
Like I want to do it, not for the money, not for anything. I feel like I need to do it, express myself, and I feel that in their music. Like every album of theirs, like from ex-military, more like traditional, as you can say that, to like Money Store, more accessible, like Crazier, and then they go to like, Government Plates is probably the weakest one. I don't know if you ever heard it. What albums have you heard?
I think I listened to all the past albums. I think from like the past decade. I think.
Have you listened to The Year of the Snitch?
I remember like the album covers more than I remember like the name of the album. Also,
the album covers always memorable.
Weird as fuck. But
yes, I think they're visual artists. They like you might think that they're not like considerate of their art. Like their music videos are very distinct, like stark, depressive. Like it's just him yelling, but it's like very weird stuff going on in their music videos that as an editor it's very hard to do what they're doing. But like from the outsiders, your viewpoint, it's like simple, like somebody just yelling into the screen, but it's not like that. And I'm not even talking about the music really. I'm just talking about them as a band and the effect they have on me. Like their lyrics, like his lyrics is so like cryptic, and like the ways he says things, like in the song Hustle Bones. Like, you know what hustle bones are? Like, what do you mean by that? I've been listening to the song for years, and I'm just realizing him saying hustle bones coming out my mouth. He's hustle bones. Like, bones is another word for money, and hustle. He's hustling, like hustle bones coming out of his mouth. He's hustling, making money by coming out of his mouth. And stuff like that happens all the time when I listen to their music. You really gotta read into it, and you might not think that, but you do. And some people say like, "Oh, he's just screaming." A lot of like some song, like "The Year of the Snitch," he's not singing. I mean, he's not yelling his brains out in most of his album. He's more instrumental, like part of the instrumental. Like, he's very laid back. But I mean, some songs he's yelling. But and also I appreciate the diversity in their music. One album, the next album, the Powers That Be, the double album. You remember that one? No. Okay. This double album. The first half is they use a sample of Bjork. Like, I didn't listen to Bjork before this, and I got interested because they used a sample of it. I wanted to know. They used a sample throughout the whole entire album, and then in the second album, the second disc, it's more like punk rock, hard rock sounding. And then like probably my favorite song by him is like one probably their most his most personal. It's on GP on Ground Personal, where he's talking about like he's gonna kill himself, and like he's getting the rope, and like it's a long progression of the song, and then he finally says like just on ground like GP, the Ground Principle, I only do it because you're here. Like, somebody like he knows he's not doing it only because you're here, and I know you care about me more than I care about myself.
Deep.
And like that's like the only song where he calls himself Stefan. That's his real name. And like I was like, it always hits me where he's like, yeah, he might be going through some stuff, but you never know. He seems like he just And also I feel the what I feel from the music is like he talks about like losing control, like going out of your body and lose control. It feels like without doing drugs, I don't like do drugs like at all anymore. I don't. I've never done drugs. But I feel like it's the high of their songs. Like, I feel like so much energy, so much passion, like out of this world that you don't need to do drugs. You just listen to them.
That's how I feel when I listen to Tool. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the feeling I get from them. Sorry, that's why I wanted to talk.
Oh, I mean, like this is their number one, man. Your number one.
Okay, I'll say number one, Money Store, because I think that's their like landmark. And what? Okay, Money Store. Okay, nothing else. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about any other album anymore.
You already had.
It's hard for me to just talk about.
You can't say, oh, my number one is the whole discography. You're like, how dare you put Parks and Rec, which was 2009, even though it ran for like 7 years in this decade, or Breaking Bad, and then you're like, you know what? All of Death Grip's discography.
You know why I said that? Because it happened all throughout the start.
God.
The decade. They started in 2010, and they released the album almost every year.
This was top 10 albums.
I put the Money Store, okay? Alright, Money Store.
After revision.
Okay, whatever.
Piece of shit.
Death Grips, the band, is number one.
Okay, thank you so much, dude.
The Money Store, okay? You see the story I just told, okay? The personal story?
It was epic. Your journey. It actually was really insightful. I'm not trying to shorten that. I'm glad this band has had this impact on you. That was so influential.
And
but you clearly don't understand the rules.
You're only going this far because I was shitting on you last time.
That's right.
Okay? I know what I was doing. You act like you You didn't know the
No,
rules.
I was underprepared.
Yeah, I'm prepared.
No, I didn't research one movie. It was Inglourious Basterds, and then the TV shows. We agreed beforehand what the rules were.
Anyways, Death Grips is my favorite band.
Favorite band ever?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, band. Yeah, I feel like there's nothing else like them. Can you?
Oh, there's nothing else like them. Yeah, that's
And,
the reason they stuck out to me the first time I heard them was like, this is so unique.
Yeah.
You know.
What do you think about them?
I like them. No, I like the first time I heard them. I was probably like 2012 or something, and I was like, I showed it to some of my friends in high school. He's like, this is terrible.
It's like, either you think it's terrible or you think it's like
it's such
great.
Challenging music to me, but
and I don't. Yeah, it's like I listen to it so much, it's not challenging at all to me.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
just-
know.
I
Well,
can listen to it.
it speaks to something that you were looking for anyway, but I think most people aren't looking for that most of the time. It's like, because it's just, he's screaming at you the whole time. The lyrics are not necessarily like, oh, I know what he's referring to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not typical
It's
hip-hop
not-
rap or
But
anything.
I think it's catchy though.
Oh, it
Songs,
is.
like the-
Sometimes they are.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're a little more like they're
It's like Spikes. The song Spikes. It has a super glitchy, crazy beat, but I think how he raps and the hook is like it's catchy. I feel it. I'm not just saying that because I like them. I feel like it has some like accessible albums like The Money Store. I think people can listen to it.
yeah, like I've seen footage. It's pretty.
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, and that's an interesting story where he's. I don't want to go into deep into like their songs because we'd be here forever. I'm gonna keep on you. But like I seen footage like he's talking about like seeing like crazy shit like in life and like I've seen like it's just a creative way of putting stuff that I've never like seen before, and they're always pushing forward. I feel like it's never like this is the only lyric is like. I never stick to a formula. I never let a bitch get used to me. For at first, I thought he's talking about a girl, but he's talking about the art, like the fan.
Yeah.
Oh, let me talk about one more thing. I'm sorry. The fan, how they treat their fans. They don't care about us at all. And
I kind of like when that happens, though. Like when an artist does that.
They don't care about us, and they make fun of us in some of their songs called BB Poison off of Bottomless Split. Like they're talking about like obey us, Poison, like. Obey us, like just making fun of like the fans and like how rabid they can be. Like I'm aware of that, and I still went to the concert. That's how much of a fan. Like I can't like I would never do that. Like oh you asshole, like I don't want to do that, but I still go.
Yeah, but I mean,
can you explain that? Like,
well, it's the reason you liked them in the first place
Yeah.
is that they didn't like people who stick to their principles and are like, this is what I am as an artist. I don't really care about the fanship or whatever. Like, I was always trying to be this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was trying to be individualistic and stand out. Those are the people I think I love the most. That's why I think I love St. Vincent the most. It's, like, more accessible, but same thing. Like, she always was doing whatever she wanted to do, I felt like. I still feel that way about what she does. Is that she's doing what she wants to. She doesn't give a shit about what is going to sell the most records.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Different sound for sure.
Yeah.
And St. Vincent's a lot more accessible to I think most people than like Death Grips would be, but same principle of being like, I'm gonna be myself and fuck you if you like it or not.
You know, it's funny, like you say like it's more accessible, like it doesn't even feel like that to me at all. It's like it feels like it should be like that. It should be
here's
like
what
the yelling, I guess.
If I go to show my friend a St. Vincent song, I think there's probably a 50-50 chance they might like it.
Mm-hmm.
If it's from like her newer album, which has a lot more pop melodies, right, and it's a lot more, I say accessible because it's catchy songs, it's familiar, I guess, familiar to them. It's not something like Death Grips. There's probably like a 10% chance if I show somebody they'll like it. You know why? Because it's just a dude screaming with an industrial, hard hitting, like it sounds like it's falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like an explosion. It sounds like an explosion of metal in a factory.
So I think I guess people like metalheads, they will like that.
Yes,
It's
people
easier
who like
transition.
music that is gonna, like challenge you and punch you in the face. Those are the kind of people that would probably like Death Grips. Those people, I think, are in the minority of people. So when I say accessible, that's what I mean.
It's just weird that people don't want like the song. This one's. I don't want to talk about it. It's just like the song. This one song I'm thinking about because I can't even think of the title. Because the title is so freaking ridiculously stupid and like I don't know what I think it's like leotard something about hats. I gotta look it up now. I'm sorry. It's so the song is so foreign to like human existence. How did you think of this?
I think most of them, like, that's the thing about Death Grips is that most of their music to me sounds that way. It sounds like it's counterintuitive to music itself. It's almost like it's trying to challenge what the notion of music is.
I think you explained it, yeah.
And there's really nothing like, there's not a lot of things out there these days that try to innovate that and challenge like what we think of as acceptable music to listen to, right? There's not been a lot that really is super innovative in the way that is popular, I guess, as Death Grips. It probably is, but it's not popular because, like I said, it's too different that people just don't pick up on it, you know?
I'm sorry, I couldn't pick a number one at first. I couldn't do it because I enjoy all their albums for different reasons the same.
That's fair.
I'm not even joking.
But do you know how hard it was for me to not include like St. Vincent's like past 3 albums on this list?
You like it the same?
Or Manchester? No, I like Mass Seduction way more.
See, look, I don't feel it any way about that, about any album.
With Death Grips?
I don't. I honestly don't. I feel like, except for this album, Government Plates, I feel like that's their only weak album. Every other album has their own merit in a certain like sound, and I feel like they do the best that they possibly could in that album. I'm not even joking. Like, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
But I'll pick Money Store as Money Store is the best album of the decade.
He picked Money Store, guys.
Okay, this is
the whole time.
The title.
He picked Money Store.
The title of the song I was talking about. You might think he loves you for your money, but it just goes on from there. I can't. It won't even show it. It's just like in the sound. I can't even describe it. You have to just experience it. Is this what people should try to expand music? Try to go that further, and I feel like people are just so safe.
That's a good term for it. It's kind of unsafe. It's a gamble. You might not like it, but people are just like. That's why I kind of hate modern music in general, right? Like, it's just so. To me, it's safe, and nowadays it's not even safe in the way that it's like catchy. Like, pop music isn't even fucking catchy.
It's not. It's
so minimalist. There's nothing to it. There's no color. There's no life in it.
Nothing.
I remember like the early aughts, like stuff like I wouldn't even like Backstreet Boys. I can at least respect their music as like good pop music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's good garbage. It's hot garbage. Now we just have cold garbage.
Yeah, nobody likes cold.
No one likes cold garbage, guys.
It's cold and it's garbage.
It's two bad things.
Wait, do you like hot pizza or cold pizza?
I like lukewarm pizza. Like, if I've left pizza sit down for a while, I'll still eat it.
I'm just hungry. I just thought about pizza cold. But that's my number one. The Money Store, Death Grips. Listen to it. But listen to any albums except for Government Plates. Artist of the decade, by the way.
Top 10 20 albums of the decade. So you think Death Grips is the artist of the decade?
Easily.
Like the defining artist?
It's not even close to me.
Like for you or for like music as a whole?
I can't think. What other? I guess other than Kendrick. Who else?
Kendrick is pretty defining.
I would say Drake, but
Fuck no.
But I hate what
Drake's not on this list!
That's what I'm saying.
Why did you mention him?
Forget it.
We almost did a whole podcast without mentioning Drake!
That's why I don't want to think about like the broad.
Who who cares?
Okay, for me,
Death Grips.
Artist of the decade, yes.
I'm just gonna leave it there.
They released...
I'm afraid of what you might say. I'm afraid of who else you're gonna fucking bring into this conversation. I can't believe we just mentioned Drake in a podcast of good music.
The worst albums of the decade. Take care.
I don't even know the names.
Never mind, I forgot his name. Okay,
Drake sucks.
His career ended in 2010.
He's cancelled.
He's cancelled. Yeah, there you go.
He's cancelled.
I like
because he's also kind of a creepy dude, apparently. So
okay. So
have you heard about that?
No.
He was
I don't listen to Drake.
It's like he was texting like Billie Eilish and Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things?
He's only 15.
He's been like texting them. I don't like.
Alright,
Supposedly he's just acting as a mentor.
No, this is not gossip.
Yeah, we keep talking about Drake. Why are we talking about Drake?
Alright, forget him.
Who's Drake?
No reason to hate him. Yeah.
Who's that girl you looked just like? Thank you for listening to our top 20 albums of the decade. We're not gonna do a podcast.
I forgot. I hate you.
I'm gonna get murdered.
This will be the last podcast. Let's continue on with this podcast so I can...
What a fucking fart, dude. Oh my god.
Oh, your ass doesn't hurt.
Oh, my ass is fine.
This makes my ass hurt so much when I sit down from
This must be a bad chair.
I have a weak butt. It's weak.
Maybe you do.
I thought I had a nice one. Never mind. Anyways, let's talk about something else other than my butt.
Oh my god.
Alright,
so that concludes our top 20 albums of the decade episode. But we are going to do a brief section to talk about our weekly challenges.
I challenge you to
Mortal Kombat. We're going to challenge each other after we discussed last week's challenge. So, my challenge for Jeremy was watching the movie Swiss Army Man. So, what are your thoughts? Oh,
man.
Trivia. The music in that movie was done by the guy from Manchester Orchestra who appeared twice on my list here. He also was the cameraman at the end, the lead singer. He was the cameraman at the end of the movie.
Are you serious?
Yeah. The music is not like Manchester Orchestra's music at all, but same guy. Yeah. Was in that movie.
Is that why you...
No, it's not why. No, it's not why I like it.
What made you watch this movie?
I heard about it years ago. And it just, like, it seemed like this weird thing. I never got around to watching it because, like, I guess I couldn't really... Like, it didn't get me into theaters to see it. You know what I mean?
I've heard of it before, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw it on Netflix, and I was like, I'm not doing anything. Why not just watch it? I wanted to watch it for years, and I really, really loved it. It was hilarious.
Okay. I loved it, too.
I knew you would. I don't know why, when I watched that movie, like, at first I was like...
Why?
Jeremy, I don't know why.
Guy farting? I really don't like fart. I don't like fart jokes that much.
No, but it's not the fart jokes that make it funny, though.
No. I said I love this movie.
I know.
I thought... Let me
But that's why I'm not...
you in my...
I'm saying that's not why I thought... Like, I'm not like, it's fart, so he would like it. It's like the humor itself. Like, the script and it's so much your humor, I think. Because it's not really fart jokes.
It's not. That's what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, no.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I hope that he's not farting the whole entire movie. So, I'm watching it, and then...
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, yeah, I'm going to spoil the movie. For my first thoughts was, like, is this a parody of Castaway?
I didn't even think about that, but it's
similar, yeah. I did. I was like, is this a parody? And I feel like, I hope this is not, like, a long, like, joke that's going to take, like, a movie's length. Like, I feel like it's going to be, like, a skit. Like, should have been a skit. But... as soon as he, like, started talking...
Oh, it changed the whole movie,
yeah. I can't believe they have Harry Potter turn into a human Swiss Army knife. Like, I can't, like... Who made... Like you said, who approved
I don't know who the fuck thought this was a good idea to make this in a movie. How
much they spent on this? Like, $1 million or so? Because I know... Like, all the... Like, one of my favorite parts of the movie, like, all the intricate, like, stuff he made to show him how life...
Yeah.
Like, he's teaching them about life.
Yeah, he's essentially, like, becoming this, like, corpse's father. It's so
great.
Fucking weird.
And he's an actual Swiss Army knife. So he hits it. Oh, it's so nasty. He hits his head and the water comes out.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so nasty. But it was big gross out humor. But he was jet skiing. I was like, what am I watching? But it continues on. But once he starts, like, talking, like, trying to just, like, because he's like a newborn baby. Like, he doesn't know nothing about the world. So he's trying to teach them. And then, like, it shows, like, all our social norms, like, how, like, stupid they can be.
Yeah.
And, like, why it can't be, like, what was one of the things he said? What was, like, one of the, like, things he was, like, confused about?
I think the bus, because that's where he was kind of focused on, like, talking to that girl, why, you know, like, everybody had their headphones in, that sort of thing. And...
Oh, the part when he was looking at the magazine, That was so funny, man. It's like you take for granted like the stuff we think of in normal life, but like to an outsider, it's so weird. Like getting a boner.
Yeah.
It's like, why do I like this? Like, and like, can you show me that girl again? Like, and then it continues on. Like, and you start like being like really endearing to like their friendship. Like, and then like later on, like it's like the stuff he goes through just to teach him. Like, it was so cool. Like. And like they put a lot of work into this movie, I feel like.
Oh yeah. It's really, and it's so like, it's such a weird premise. It shouldn't work,
but it just does. Yeah. That's why I feel like it could be any premise in the movie, as long as it's like, the premise doesn't matter as much.
Yeah.
As long as it's written well.
Yeah.
So like,
I think this kind of proves that.
Yeah, it proves it because it's the most insane, dumbest thing.
If you read that premise, you're like, that's never getting made.
Yeah,
it's
only for like people like us that like weird stuff, like stupid stuff like this. Yeah. But it's not. It's like well written.
It is well written. It's really well written.
And like the story is interesting, and it progressives, and like he sees the girl on his phone, and I'm thinking that's his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And like, and spoilers, it reveals like it's just a girl that he likes on the bus, and he takes. It's kind of creepy. Like he takes a picture of the girl. I'm like, oh, like. It went there, and in like Daniel, I forgot his name, real name. Daniel
Radcliffe.
Yeah. He starts falling for her, and like, but he likes her. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, this is kind of endearing and deep, and like it starts questioning like our like life, like what we think is like normal. Is it really should be like that? And I was like, wow, I can't believe this movie. I stopped, like I was taking notes during the movie. And I stopped because I was just getting so much engagement.
Yeah.
And the ending, like,
it's wacky.
It's wacky. Like,
kind of like, well, I think it's sort of like, I don't think about it. Yeah. Like I try not to think about it.
But it was appropriate though. It feels like it's
it felt right.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those movies like if you think about it too much, you try to draw too much meaning from it, you're just gonna like it's better to just
it doesn't make any sense.
And watch it. And like just let it happen to you.
Through the whole entire movie, like his phone is on 10%. Like it doesn't make any sense, but whatever.
And you think he's on an island, but it turns out he's really not.
Yeah, that was a good twist.
That was a good twist too. Yeah, where like you kind of find out he's actually just kind of like he's just trying to escape from society, from this whole thing that like he's trying to, you know.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff to this movie.
Yeah,
I was not expecting it at all.
Yeah, me neither. That's why I was just like, man, it was a kind of surprise hit for me because I thought I might like it, I might think it's kind of funny, but I don't know. It had mixed reviews, so I went into it with like really no expectation, just was curious to see what it was like, so I'm glad you found it as enjoyable as I did.
I did. The highest recommendation I can give a movie these days is buy it, because nobody buys movies really.
Yeah, it's true.
And I want to buy it. Have it in my collection.
Yeah.
It's like it's like the ratings like skip it, like or stream it, or like rent it. But definitely, if somebody like if you're into like weird concepts,
I'd say if you're into film at all.
Yeah. I guess that's fair to say.
Yeah, because it's like a movement to me. It's like what you can do with film. It's experimental, I think, more in story than it is with, like cinematography or anything. But the story itself is just, it's weird.
Yeah, you think like, oh, this doesn't make sense. Like it limits yourself because, like he's used as a Swiss Army knife. Like it causes like drama, like laughter.
Yeah.
Like if you limit to yourself, like, oh, that wouldn't make sense, nobody would like that, you wouldn't have something that's creative like this, as something that stands out like this.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. Like, and it makes me think like you will never think to do that.
No, I would.
But it makes me think to like human computer, like I mean, I guess like androids, like. But I'm thinking like how you can make something unique like that.
Yeah.
Because you can really stand out, and it was written really well. Like that surprised me the most. Like I felt bad for him, like really bad for him that he couldn't get with the girl. Like she was already like, that's the worst feeling you can't get with somebody. Like that's the worst.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And I understand why he would do that.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, so it was just maybe just in his imagination.
That's kind of what I wonder.
You know, he was carrying around a corpse, and that's like very morbid.
It's kind of creepy. I mean, but at the end, like,
I
he
like
takes
it.
off and it's real, but maybe that it's just also him and his psychosis, and maybe he's just like swimming out to die or something.
Yeah.
You know,
I
I did think that was possible.
It questions like the reality of it.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's open to your interpretation, you know, and that's one very valid interpretation of it. Is that's kind of imagined. So
That's his best movie, Harry Potter. All right, let's move on.
My challenge.
Ha ha ha. I'm just laughing because it's funny.
What the hell is wrong with you?
I'm tired. I've been up since 5.
You look out of it.
I am so out of it. I'm
Okay.
hungry.
We're gonna wrap this up.
No. I want to talk about this.
All right.
I want to hear your opinion on it.
So his challenge for me was to listen to Shoo Shoo's "Forget."
Forget it.
Holy,
Forget it.
it's the weirdest shit.
Yeah,
You know when you talk about how like Death Grips is changing like what music could be? I feel like this act is very similar. I see why you like them in that regard, since you held Death Grips in such high regard.
they're more experimental than Death Grips.
Yeah,
And I can't ever get to all their music because it's too out there.
I don't like. I don't love it. But I will say,
just
you know, like there was
Don't
one song
ever
I had.
hold back. If you don't like something, I don't care.
No, I know. There was one song that I had because I think you told me about this band before,
Yeah.
and I liked one of their songs because I had it on my Spotify already. I know I like had heard it a couple times. I was like, oh, it's that one. It's that band. It's that really weird song. It's like I can't remember the song. I think is like the 4th song on the album. I can't remember what it's called. But
4th song. Let me pull it up.
I listened to it earlier too before I came over. I remember it's the 4th one.
Did you listen? Okay, hold on.
I listened to it twice. I listened to it like the other day,
Shit.
and then I listened to it like
Oh wait, 4th song, Get Up.
yeah, I think it's Get Up.
Is it the very soul plotting song?
Yeah, I like that
And
one.
then I love that song too.
That was good. I really like the last one too. It's just like
Oh, Faith.
weird as fuck. Yeah,
And then
intense sounding.
did you get what the album was about? It's a constant. It's like not at all.
Oh no, I kind of just like listen to it, just like surface value.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Well,
interpretation.
some songs it's just like the lyrics are so esoteric you don't understand it. But the ending poem that they read, did you hear it in like what did you?
I listened to it, but I kind of just like you said, I didn't try to
Nothing?
think about it. I need to like it takes me a couple times to like digest the whole
Mhm.
album, like listen to lyrics and like really understand.
Okay, let's
what
talk
they're
about the sound then. What do you think of his delivery?
That
Jamie Stewart. He's been doing this since 2002. They made.
I did kind of look at their Spotify bio.
They have 14 albums,
Yeah, that's crazy.
and they do a little bit something different every time.
Yeah, this was definitely one of the weirdest things I've ever heard. It challenges again, like what music could be, like Death Grips. Where I'm like, this is just it's breaking all these rules. It's like, there's no semblance of like melody really to me. I just hear like it's noise. It's like
This is probably their most melodic. I'm not even joking.
and that's hilarious because it's not melodic at all.
Yeah.
Because there's like hardly a track on there where I was like, yeah, I'm gonna bop my head to this. Nothing.
You know, like wondering, maybe, wondering, maybe. You remember that?
Don't remember bopping my head to anything. I remember thinking it was very challenging. Like when you went challenging for this challenge, you were like, you know what, I'm gonna stretch what I think is likable
Mm-hmm.
here, and it was like. It was definitely unlike anything I'd ever heard before.
Just remind you, they've been doing this since 2002, so it's not. This is the most successful. Even back then, it's even crazy. So I'm thinking this is like nobody talks about this band, and I guess I don't know why because it's so like you saying like Death Grips is way easier to get into than
This, yeah.
Yeah.
This was on another level of just like it's like weird. You know, time, weird rhythms. You know, everything's like off. Feels like it's off. Feels like it's sort of like chaotic. You know, I guess is the best word I can use to describe it.
It's beautiful yet chaotic. Like it's like luscious, like synths, but they're screaming in the back, like grizzly, like beast, like in the track as well. But it's still like beautiful to me, and like the way he sings is very unique. It's like overly dramatic. He sounds like he's like in pain in the studio.
Yeah, it sounds like he's acting or something. Yeah.
It's it's overly dramatic, and I just like that. I don't know why. It's just, I always get like so soaked up into into his voice and like his delivery. What do you think about it?
His voice?
Yeah.
It's just like you said. It's definitely like over dramatic. I feel like he's definitely like he's acting. I feel like he's stepping in. He's like voice acting. He's not just like.
I like that you said that. Wow.
Yeah, that's what it seems like to me. It sounds like he's stepping into a studio and voice acting on a song.
Because for most of their albums, he doesn't talk from his point of view. Like some of it he does, but it's usually a concept. So from behind this album, it's about sex workers and the sex what's it called?
Sex trafficking.
Sex trafficking.
You know, I actually kind of thought something like that with the opening song. It's just like this aggression and misogyny that I was kind of like, yeah.
It's completely different from the rest of the album because it's like some guy just yelling, why, bitch, why?
Yeah, it's just like a cunt, bitch, like every.
Yeah, and there's nothing like that in any other album. It's just that song.
It's crazy.
And you know you don't pick up on that in the first time, but when you get the concept of the album, and stuff starts to make sense. Even though this is like insane songs. Okay, the first song, like you were saying, like that's like the call.
Yeah,
they get the call to go out and for John, whatever. And then like the next song, like the lyric, hold on, I gotta read it. Like, your face is made up for taking a punch. And like this is a dark album.
Yeah, lyrically I thought it was intense sometimes.
Like, everyone loves you, the pain has just begun. Everybody hates you, the pain just begun. You know, like a sex worker or like trafficking. Everybody loves like the guy, John loves you, like loving you. Everybody loves you, like wants to give you, but everybody hates you for doing that, like the society. But everybody hates you, like nobody cares about you, like the person controlling
dehumanizing.
Yeah. So like that always like in like the way he says it, it's just so like like if he was singing normally, I don't think it would be the same impact to me. It's like fucking nut. Like he sounds like he's probably doing like he's gone through it. Like he's part of it already. And like it's like so. It gets me, and like I've never known somebody that, but I feel like it puts me in that place. Like I can feel like I feel it. I feel it. Like, I empathize for it. I don't expect anybody to like this. Not at all.
I wouldn't either. Yeah.
So I'm surprised if anybody would even like this. But like the last song, the poem that the person's reading, it's the genesis of this album was he was online and he stumbled upon a sex trafficking website, and it was in his local like neighborhood, like town, and he couldn't believe that this was happening where he lived. And he would he'd see the pictures of the women, and it's all underage women. So he would look at them, and then he wrote a poem about it, and they read it at the end, and it's like, oh, my hijab is polka dot. My favorite band is I don't know. And he was just thinking what were they like? So young girls, what were they thinking? But at the I actually read into this. I had to, and he said she's the person that's saying the poem. It's more oh, it's they're proud of it. They're not somber. They're more proud of it. Even though I'm at the lowest point, I don't really have an existence. I'm still me. I still have a nice bra. Or I'm still a person. I'm still living, and that sounds wow. That's puts it in perspective more. Even though you can be this, the worst subject you could think of, but, they do all that, and they have that at the end, and I wouldn't even get that at first.
I didn't.
Yeah, but I had to look into it, and
yeah,
and he said that I was wow, yeah,
that's
and it made me appreciate it more.
Yeah,
And it wasn't.
Well, no, I mean, I'm definitely like going to listen to it now will be different too, you know, because I have all this like backstory. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it makes it appreciate it more.
Yeah. Right.
That's it. Oh, that was a lot.
That was a lot.
That was
a good conversation. Though.
Yeah, it's great. I think it was the best one yet.
I think it was the best one yet too, because we just like we explored so much, we learned so much about each other.
Yeah.
And our bodies.
No. Yeah, I have a weak ass.
You didn't learn that about yourself.
I learned about it myself.
Oh my god. Well, thank you all for tuning in.
Yeah. Next is video games, where I'm going to talk mostly and you're just going to listen.
There's also going to be a surprise announcement.
Oh, wait.
Our new name.
Oh, yes. What is our new name?
Because we definitely know what it is and are just not telling you guys right now, but...
I know it. My future self knows it. So I actually do know it. That was deep. I'm deep stuff going on in this part. But you gotta challenge each other.
We do have to challenge each other first. And I also have nothing to challenge you with. But you know what? Hold on.
Name one of these albums.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Because actually, one of them, I wonder if you'll like it. So
give me something that I might not like.
Something you might not like?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Afterman. I think you might, but you might not. It's the one that's like the Coed in Cambria. So it's like.
Oh, okay. Don't explain it again.
Okay. I won't say anything else. But it's called Coed in Cambria, the Afterman. There's 2 parts: Ascension, Descension. But you can kind of listen to the whole thing in one. Mm-hmm. There's like an option on Spotify. Listen to it as like one album.
Okay.
But it's called The Afterman.
Okay.
That is your challenge. Both parts. Because it's like an hour and a half.
Send me a link to that. Cause
I'll text it to you.
Okay. Alright. So you knew this was going to happen, right? You knew this was coming.
No.
What am I going to recommend you? Anime.
Fuck. What anime?
Haha. I was going to give you choices. I'm not going to give you the craziest thing.
So like,
I should.
Diabolical.
I should.
I was going to give you choices like a human, but...
Do you have Hulu?
Yeah.
You have Hulu?
Yeah.
Okay, you don't have to... it's a series. You don't have to watch the whole series. Have you heard of Cowboy Bebop?
Yes.
Have you ever seen it?
No.
Okay, good. You know what it's about at all?
No.
Okay.
Maybe you shouldn't tell me.
I'm not.
Alright.
There's 26 episodes. I have it on Blu-ray, but I think they have it on Hulu. If they don't have it on Hulu, let me know.
Okay.
I'll let you borrow it. Watch 4 episodes. I think get to episode 4, and let me know what you think of it next time.
Okay. You know I
ready?
Hate anime.
Yeah, I know.
You know what you're doing.
He hates anime.
He's like trying to get. He's trying to cause.
I'm not. Look. Anime will never be for you, but there is anime that will be for you.
There actually has been anime movies I've seen that like Studio Ghibli movies that I've liked.
They're actually going on Netflix. I'm sorry for it.
Not in the U.S. though.
What?
Read the article.
You know I don't.
I swear to God, like
Are you serious?
I saw several people share it.
That was my heart sinking.
And they were all excited.
What?
But it's not going to be in the U.S. It's like, yeah. I mean, you should double check. But I just saw people because I don't care. But other people I know care. So they were sharing it on Facebook and they were like talking about it and they're like, "Oh, Studio Ghibli's on Netflix." And then like someone commented, "But not in the U.S." I'm just look into it because I could be wrong. Maybe that person was wrong. But I saw like several people talk about that.
Where
so.
then? Where?
What do you mean?
Where would they put it?
I don't know.
Japan?
I think other countries, but just not in the
Why
US.
would this?
I don't know.
All right, we're gonna talk about that.
I don't know why. I just saw that.
I'll be so mad. If I
think
find out, I'm blaming you because you did this to me.
All I did was tell you.
Yeah, kill the messenger, bitch. Oh.
It's probably fine. It's probably there.
Watch Cowboy Bebop.
I'm watching Cowboy Bebop. You're gonna listen to The Afterman.
I already forgot. Send me that. Okay.
I'll remind you.
Alright, until next time, we'll do video games. Okay?
We're gonna do our top 10 video games of the decade. It's gonna be a lot shorter because I didn't have that many. So, thank you for tuning in.
You're such a nerd. You don't like video games. Who doesn't like video games? In 2020.
Do you like video games?
My babies.
I don't know if he likes video games at all. I don't know why we're even doing a video games list.
It's not my house.
It's
Whose
his
house is this? Alright, man. Until next time. Peace.
Peace.